Okay, we're live. Yo, can you hear for the intro or you want me to do it?
No, you got the intro, Gator. Go ahead,
All right.
man.
Welcome under Big Dog Nation. We are back with another live stream. We're gonna start off with the sports news here in a bit, but we want to thank Verse for coming on the stream. First time, we got a first time viewer coming on the stream,
Appreciate it.
and yeah, he's ready to talk some sports. Hoping other people pop in here. I'll give them a few minutes if anybody that normally joins comes in here. Where's Batman been? Kane, you know where he's been? He's been hasn't been on the show in a minute. Check the chat, get the chat up, and I'll start off with the sports news. Okay. Chat's up. If you see a topic you want to join in on, just Discord link is in the description. Just join the main show or join the bench, and I'll drag you in. Only trusted members get to join the show immediately. So for the sports news, just gonna run through this real quick. These are just topics that are important, but we're not gonna spend too much time on today. We'll start off with baseball. The NLCS and the ALCS is going on. I love me some baseball, but we're going to keep that out of the show today. Phillies are up 1-0. It's death taxes and Phillies winning a playoff series, it feels like, over the last couple years. That and Bryce Harper hitting a home run. I can't stand the Phillies. How about you, Verts, right? No Phillies? Hoping they lose?
Honestly, I'm not that big of a hater, even though I'm a Mets fan. I think Bryce Harper is one of the villains of baseball, but I personally love him.
He hits a home run them in the postseason is insane, like insane. Just the last couple years. Other sports news: Rangers are up 2-0 in the ALCS. It looked like Houston's trying to go back to back and really formulate this dynasty after their cheating scandal, but it might be on hold for right now. We'll switch over to the NFL. Jim Irsay saying AR-15 is most likely out for the year. That's a big loss for them because they didn't look too hot this weekend. They kind of got destroyed. He was really having a promising start to his career. So that's a big blow to the Colts. Kyron Williams looks like he's going to be out at least 1 week for the Rams. You know, they traded Cam Akers. It's more fantasy news than it is sports news. Because Kyron Williams has been lighting up the fantasy. He's like one of the best waiver wire pickups this year so far. We got injury news from the 49ers. Debo's day to day. Trent Williams has a ankle sprain. Low ankle sprain, thankfully, not high. So it looks like he'll miss maybe 1 week or so. We're still waiting on the CMC MRI results, but it's looking optimistic. It looks like Ryan Tannehill is also dealing with a high ankle sprain. Luckily, they have a bye week, I think, this week or next week. So, but do you think that really matters, Vert? So, what do you think of Ryan Tannehill this year? You think the Titans should look somewhere else anyway?
Absolutely. I mean, they drafted what was his name? Malik
Williams,
was it?
yeah.
Malik Williams. They haven't used him in his third
Malik
year.
Willis. My goodness, fellas.
Whatever,
That was
Malik.
my
man.
fault. That was my
That's how
fault.
irrelevant. That's how irrelevant he is. I mean, you have one of the best running backs in the game.
Fault.
You
I
can't
did
throw
say
the ball
Malik
10
Williams.
yards.
Just so you know, King, you can't say Trent Williams' name right, so that's fair. And you call him. You get Trent Williams and somebody and Trent Richardson confused.
You bringing up old stuff, man. Move on. You bringing up old stuff.
Last bit of news here. We'll switch to the NBA. Luka has a strained calf, and we know how that's looking like for Joe Burrow and company. So, I mean, it's still a week or two off the NBA season. I think it starts next Tuesday. I think it's actually a week from today. Those two games start. So, but Luka's dealing with strained calf. I don't know how serious it is, but it's newsworthy. So
It's definitely newsworthy. This strain cast is no joke. I just strained my groin. I strained my groin. I was done for like 4 weeks before I was able to get back active enough to to feel like myself again. So yeah, strain muscles is not that might play onto the season.
How's the women's team this year? Or
Which
it didn't
women's team?
start yet? Are you not coaching still?
Oh, you talking about with? Oh, come on! You talking about with my coach in high school basketball, girls
Yeah.
basketball?
Did it start yet?
Oh yeah, that's going beautiful. That's going beautiful, and thank you for bringing them up. I didn't expect that. We talking about
We're done with
professionals right
sports
now.
news. We're done with sports news. Whatchamacallit though? Did season start yet?
No, season starts in November. Season
Okay.
starts in November. Yeah. First topic. Let's get straight to it, man. Let's not even
You
play
got the
around with it.
topic?
No, you got it.
All right.
Yeah. Carry us
First
today,
topic.
man.
Monday Night Football reactions, man. That was a good game last night. Started off hot. Both teams came out and scored a touchdown. It was 7-7 after the first quarter, and the rest of there was only 20 points scored. The rest of the or 17 points scored the rest of the game after the first quarter. So very weird Monday Night Football game. It looked like Dak kind of outperformed Herbert last night. Herbert missed a bunch of throws, a few easy reads. He had Austin Eckler wide open at the end of the game for a touchdown. They wound up scoring on the drive anyway, but he looked a little shaky last night. So what can we take about this performance? Did Dak actually outplay Justin Herbert last night?
I mean, guests is always first. Guests are always first. We're host. So V, talk about it.
How do you feel about Justin Herbert?
I like Justin Herbert. I think that he's underperforming this year as it is, but I like him as a passer. He scores a lot of points throughout his career. Yesterday, I think Dak definitely outperformed Herbert, threw for 272, ran for a touchdown, threw for a touchdown, but I don't really think either one of them played particularly great. Herbert, like you said, missed a lot of throws. He had almost a wide open touchdown pass to Keenan Allen for like 50 yards.
Was sick. That was sick.
The one to Eckler you said as well. So I definitely think Dak played better last night, but he got bailed out by Pollard on a couple occasions too.
That's true. That 60-yard touchdown, not touchdown, but a 60-yard Pollard run gave me the check mark in fantasy last night. But I know Dennis wasn't so happy about that. But yeah. Both offenses, it really looked like we were about to have a shootout last night. Both offenses came out, scored a touchdown on the first opening drive, and then it just kind of fizzled the rest of the way. Like I said, only 17 points scored. What did you see? What did you see last night between the two quarterbacks?
No, look. I don't agree with V in this retrospect. Just simply, I thought Dak, for example, if Brock Purdy plays like how Dak played last night, we'd be screaming that Brock Purdy's the second coming of Joe Montana. But the second, Dak does what, Brock Purdy has been doing all year, it's he didn't play particularly great. I just feel as though give him his credit when it's due, destroy him when it's due too as well. But last night, you can't play a better game, in my opinion, than he played last night. I know,
I'll give you one thing. Dak Prescott made some big time throws in certain points of the game, but there was some. I mean, they couldn't move the ball at a certain point.
This is what it's not even that they couldn't move the ball. What I be trying to tell people, and I know this is not a Dak versus Purdy conversation, I'm just trying to drive home a point. When you talk about Dak, when you talk about what Brock Purdy has in San Fran, his team always presents him with opportunities, in opponents' territory, whether that's either in their own 40-yard line or that they're at the opponent's 40, whether it's because they created a turnover or because the 49ers, punted, teams inside of the 5-yard line, and then they had the punch from the 5-yard line, and Brock Purdy is in great down and distance from the goal line. It's like Brock Purdy is in a lot of situations where he's not having to drive full lengths of the field consistently, and Dak is we thought this defense in Dallas was going to be a all-time defense. Now we can sort of jump off that bandwagon because I was one of those people. So now we're seeing that they're not that. So Dak is constantly in situations where he has to drive full lengths of the field, and I'd rather him not turn the ball over in those scenarios. Like you said, there were a lot of drives that were stalled. And I'd rather him not turn the ball over. I'd rather stalling drives and give the ball back to and put the back in the defense's hands, put the pressure back in the defense's hands, as opposed to just turning the ball over. And last night he didn't turn the ball over, and he was able to orchestrate some really really positive drives and play sort of to the level that I know he's capable of playing. You're gonna get but so many yards in a Mike McCarthy offense. Like you just are. They the
There was
first
a
three play
drive.
the first
There was a
huh?
drive. There was a drive, King, where Dak took a sack or threw an incomplete pass, and when he was walking over to Mike McCarthy on the sideline, Mike McCarthy literally looked at him and was like, "That was a bad call." He's
Oh,
struggling this year. Mike McCarthy's struggling play calling this year.
yeah, you're gonna get but so many. You're gonna get but so many as far as production goes. You're gonna get but so many yards under a Mike McCarthy led play calling. Like Dak is no Aaron Rodgers. Like Aaron Rodgers was able to overcome Mike McCarthy's offensive play calling woes, but Dak can't do that. Like so, we gotta understand when Dak was with Kellen Moore. Yes, Kellen Moore was being too aggressive, especially like in certain situations. He wasn't making play call. He wasn't playing complimentary football. Like Kellen Moore wasn't calling plays that was like, okay, let's just call a safe play here, punt the ball and put the pressure back on our defense. Like Kellen Moore wasn't managing time, none of those things. So I get the Kellen Moore thing. um but it's just my whole thing is when he was with Kellen Moore, though, the production from Dak was pretty high. And so we got to understand what Dak is as a quarterback. He's no scrub. He's no bum. He's above average. And if he was in Brock Purdy's shoes, he would look like the second coming of Joe Montana, too, when you consider being with Kyle Shanahan, Christian McCaffrey, Debo Samuels, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, offensive line, the play calling, a partridge in a pear tree. So we got to stop pooping on Dak. And I think Dak definitely deserves his credit for last night for playing complimentary football, great football, very Tom Brady esque. And I mean from this perspective, I mean from like when Tom Brady was on the Patriots early in his career, it was very complimentary. And so it's just like we got to give credit where credit is due. Justin Herbert, though I love him, I just get frustrated with Justin Herbert. And the reason why is because
He is. There was
I think
something up last night with him.
I get frustrated with him so far throughout his career in general. Because I want to love Justin Herbert. I want to fall in love with the guy. But it seems to me that some of his reads aren't aren't optimal. Like some of his reads, like it's because he's whatever 6'6", got this huge arm, so he's able to make throws that no other quarterback in this league is capable of making. Yet he's not freaking just absolutely obliterating the league for some reason. And to me, it's because of his ability to actually read the field at all levels. I really question his ability to read the field on a cerebral level. And when I say cerebral, I'm talking about guys like Joe Burrow. I'm talking about guys like Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. Talking about guys like even Josh Allen. I just don't think he's seeing the field on a cerebral level at all levels. And it's causing him to try to make those throws that only he could make because he's 6'6" and got the arm of a freaking like just got the
It's
best arm probably in the league.
it's
It's just
like
I just don't think. Yeah.
it's like this for me. For me, it's like everyone does. Nobody wants to put Justin Herbert in that tier yet, and it's because of games like yesterday. It's like you should be able to outperform Dak Prescott. Like there shouldn't be a
Well,
reason. There shouldn't be a reason Dak Prescott is outperforming you. Go ahead, Verts.
well, I definitely agree. I mean, but here's the thing too. Like, especially with Herbert, right? Like, first of all, how many games has he ever had his full wide receiver core? Not
Yeah,
many.
it's
And I'm
been
not
4.
blaming that or making that as an excuse at all. But up until last night, they were the only team in the NFL that scored more than 21 points every single game. So I understand there are definitely a couple reads. We already touched on the Eckler one that should have been a touchdown. But I think a lot of times, even with people like Mahomes, when you have a cannon like that, you look for the bigger plays and you have ways to escape and make something that shouldn't be there for other quarterbacks. Because even Herbert, for being 6'6", he's agile. He can run. Like he has the ability to make throws on the run while running. But
Yeah, he
also I
doesn't
want
run
to
as much
piggyback
as
real
I
quick.
thought he did.
No, he's very good at it.
Yeah, he's very
But
good
really
at it.
quick, I want to address something that King said about Dak versus Purdy since he brought it up.
And please
Um,
don't lose that thought, V. Don't lose that thought, verse. Gator, make sure that you're watching the YouTube chat, and you're watching the Discord bench, because I am on the phone right now. I'm giving that feeling to the public right now, and I told the public I'll do this more. I'm giving that feeling to the public that no matter what you're doing, because I'm about to go to the gym and I'm gonna be on the show while at the gym and things like that. I'm giving that the public that understanding that this thing, Discord is on any device. You could be talking sports, enjoying talking sports from anywhere you are. I know most podcasts, and I call this a sports show. I don't call it a podcast, and you'll see why I call it a sports show as it continues to grow, as the platform continues to grow. But you don't got to be stationary when you're doing this thing, right? And so I just really want to get people to understand you could do this from anywhere. And that's why I'm on the phone right now, moving how I'm moving. As a producer, though, I know me and Gator are going to have to be stationary, but the population does not, right? And so I'm giving that energy. So Gator, please, watch those things for us as we push forward in today's show.
I
Sorry, V.
got you.
Thank
I
you.
got it up.
Go ahead, V. Go ahead, V.
no, I just wanted a couple of things. So one, I just want to preface this. Gator knows I am not somebody that believes Brock Purdy is the next coming of
Thank you, V.
valued.
Thank you, V.
Why are we
Don't
attacking?
think that.
Brock Purdy ain't even a
No,
topic
we had
today.
Justin
Hold
Dokated.
on,
Stop,
I'm
stop.
getting to a point about this. I'm getting to a point
Okay,
about this.
okay, V.
I
Okay,
do
V. I'm
think
sorry,
that
V.
Dak. I kind of think I feel like, and no one else is going to agree, but I feel like Purdy and Dak are similar quarterbacks in a sense that I view them both as somewhat system quarterbacks. Okay, I
Thank
don't know that they would both be successful anywhere else, but that doesn't mean they can't be successful now. Now, the difference between Brock Purdy and Dak Prescott is Purdy does not turn the ball over. Purdy makes smart reads generally. Dak historically has turned the ball over on numerous occasions in big moments constantly. So and now I want to just set the bar. We're setting the bar so low for Dak where a game that he doesn't turn the ball over is considered a great game. So it's not that I don't think he played well. He got the job done fantastic. But just because he didn't throw a pick does not mean he had a great game.
He has to be more for Dallas, King. He has to be more for Dallas. I kind of agree with that. Because that's not enough to win a Super Bowl with that team. It's not. He has to be great. Dak is going to. In the playoffs, Dak is going to have to be great, or else they're going to get bounced out of the first round.
Okay. Keep us on track, Gator. I don't know what time it is right now. Gator. You are our navigator right now, Gator.
Well, that's not a
Keep
good
us in
idea.
control.
That's not a good idea. But is Dallas defense back after last night's performance?
No.
Go ahead, Batman.
And
You
let's
could
welcome
start.
in. Let's welcome in our guest, Batman. Thank you for joining the show today. Thank you for your service, former Marine, right there. Um, uh, is Dallas defense back, Batman?
No, it's not. They did. It's not.
He's a giant.
They. I mean, yeah, but
I'm joking. I'm joking. I agree with you. Go ahead.
But it's not back. They only got Parsons, and they bend but don't break type of thing. But you could tell they different out there. You could tell they different.
They definitely missed
Herbert had a bad game yesterday, but like I told King a while ago, that those guys like the Herbs and the guys from Cincinnati quarterbacks and stuff like that, they overpaid. Same thing with Danny Jones, and I'm a Giant fan. That they paid them their bag too early. They needed a good 5-6 seasons in to really show the proof. Excuse me. So, but other than that, but the Dallas defense is not bad. But the scheme, they defensive schemes is going to show that they look okay, but they play another good team, they'll lose.
Yeah, I would say the plays were there for for the Chargers last night, and Herbert just kind of missed them. I wouldn't say they're back. I think they struggle against good offenses. They were number one DVOA for the first 3 weeks of the season, but we looked at their schedule. They played like three of the worst offensive teams in football. They played the Jets, the Giants, and the Patriots. Those are their 3 wins. Before last night, they finally played. The only good offense they played was the Cardinals and the Niners, and the Cardinals really aren't like they're Josh Dobbs, and they looked bad. And there were at times last night where plays were there to be made for the Chargers, and I think Herbert just missed them. I think the Chargers probably should have won that game. I think Herbert just had one of his worst games of his career, to be honest. And he didn't even really turn the ball over like that, just missing key throws. So what'd you see from Dallas' defense versus? Do you think they played a good game, or Herbert kind of gave it to them?
Well, answer the question, Virg. Is Dallas defense back?
Is Dallas's defense back? Well, the line looked great. I thought their defensive line looked good. I thought they were pretty clutch. Their DBs played pretty well. But no, they're absolutely not back at all. They missed open Chargers receivers. They had 11 penalties for 85 yards. At one point, just on penalties alone, I'm pretty sure they gave about 50 yards on one drive and put the Chargers in the red zone. So no, they're not back.
And to piggyback on that, to be back from something, you gotta have been great. And I can't sit here and say, like
you're saying everybody they were flukes. They were always flukes.
Yeah, like I think the perspective that we need to have is more so. All right, we finally know who this Dallas defense is. Right? It's just like, okay,
it's good.
They
just not.
Yeah,
great.
It's good. It's really good, but it's not like all time. It's not the Legion of Boom. It's not the Ravens in 2009. It's not. It's not, the Bears, back then, I know Batman knows about those Bears, that Bears defense back then. It's not, it's none of those, right? It's not that. But they are really, really good. And, I was getting to this on the show on, what was that? It was a Friday. I said, listen, when the Dallas Cowboys play teams that are heavy passing teams, they normally do very, very well. And that's why I predicted the Cowboys to win, because 49ers, we know what Kyle Shanahan's agenda is. He's of his father's ilk, right? He's going to run the football. Dallas ain't got the freaking muscle to stop the run game.
They played the run very well last night. Eckler did nothing.
Again, it's not about production is what I'm getting at. I'm not talking specifically about statistics. I'm talking about when teams come into these football games, what is your approach? Am I a pass? Is my offensive roster built to pass or built to run, right? And we never looked at Eckler as some kind of, like force in the run game in terms of handoffs. It was, the 10 receptions that he would get on top of the 60 rushing yards. That he's not Derrick Henry, or he's not, none of these Adrian Peterson. He's not like built like none of these dudes. He's not Christian McCaffrey, right? And so it's just like, as far as running goes. So it's just like every time, the Dallas Cowboys face a team that is has literally a legit formidable run game. Like the Eagles. That's why I'm interested in that matchup when it comes. Like the Eagles, like the 49ers.
The Eagles
teams
schedule
like that.
Coming up is
teams like, but just teams like that. You're interrupting my take, Gator.
I'm sorry, I was just thinking about
teams
that
like
Dallas
that.
Game.
Teams like that, though, that have formidable run games. Dallas don't have the muscle to stop that. In fact, they're punks when it comes down to stuff like that, and they've been punks when it comes down to stuff like that for some years now. But when you come across a team that like a Justin Herbert, or a team that comes in with the intentions to pass, like a Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, and a team, and, that's the league that we're in today, right? This heavy passing league. So many scenarios like that. I always take the Cowboys in that situation, because if you think you're gonna come into the Cowboys game with Micah Parsons there, with the I forget my other dude's name, D lineman, who rips, who gets to the quarterback, and that whole team.
And Osu.
It's a few guys. But if you think you're just gonna be able to just like a regularly scheduled programming, think you're about to just do what you do well, which is dropping back, hitting your guys against this Dallas pass rush. That's not going to happen. And Justin Herbert got a little dose of that. Only got sacked
He
once,
did.
but was
He was pressured
only
a
got
lot.
sacked
He
once,
was
but he
pressured
was
a lot.
pressured.
Yeah.
Only got sacked once, but he was pressured a lot. And so when you think you're about to just do that against these Cowboys, that ain't gonna happen. And that's who the Cowboys defense is. If you're a passing offense, good luck. And if you're a running offense, you're gonna be able to do really good things offensively against these Cowboys. And so, that's
Any
really it.
final takes about the Cowboys Chargers? Anyone want to get off before we go to the next topic?
I would just say that they left a lot of Chargers wide receivers open for being that good against the pass.
No, they
All
did.
No,
That's
no,
what. That's what.
it's not necessarily a secondary that I'm talking about, V, right? I'm talking about just like you gotta understand, like these overthrows, things like that happen when you're flustered. That's just the reality of sports. We gotta stop looking at guys like they're like computers or like they're like, bigger than life. No, Justin Herbert is a real life human being like you and I, and when flustered, when you're going through the flames, the fires of a 4-quarter professional football game, you're gonna make overthrows because you're thinking about that guy that's about to rip your neck off. Like these press, that's just real.
I think we all
I
agree
hear
that Dallas is a little that Dallas. We all agree that Dallas's defense is not back. So I think it was we're just more trying to figure out what happened last night, but.
Yeah.
He was
Moving on.
He was definitely
'cause
flustered. He was definitely flustered.
We behind right now, Gator. We gotta move on. They
we'll
in
be
my ear
fine.
telling me we
I'm
gotta
looking-
move on.
I'm looking at the list here. We'll be fine. I'll figure it out.
Okay.
Eagles and Niners lose. Which loss was worse? Eagles to the Jets or Niners to the Browns? Which loss was worse last night?
I'll guess always first. Batman or Verge could take it over.
Go ahead, Batman.
Okay. Well, of course, the Eagles in the Jet game. Come on. Come on. Now, that being said,
Why? Browns didn't have Deshaun Watson, but go ahead.
Let's give a little more context to this take too. Eagles and the Niners were both the last undefeated teams in the NFL.
Of course,
and
we know that.
Very bad games they should have won. Games they had money line plus they were like minus 500. Both lost on the same day. Super Bowl aspirations. That's what we're looking at here. What happened? Which was worse?
Well, I say the Jets was worse. And the reason why is, come on, the Jets, man, with a second string quarterback, Wilson. And, I'm not knocking Wilson because he's in the NFL. He is an NFL quarterback. And what the Jets trying to do is throw too much big plays on him, like for the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago and on, when he had those bad losing games. Now they're showing his playbook, and now they're looking good because the Jets they're allowing the Jets defense, which is unbelievable. But that being said, the Eagles, you just came off a Super Bowl loss, though, even though it was a loss. You was undefeated, running through team, finding ways to win, and they actually couldn't. And that against a Jet team that's now unbelievably 3-3. Now I know everybody gonna say, well, they 3-3, but so it should be the 49ers. No, it's too many people went down on the 49ers. It's not the McCarthy and stuff like that. The receiver and
that's true.
That's no excuses.
So, but but I would still say the Jets, because the Jets should not beat a 4-0 team. They should a 4-0, 5-0 team. They should not beat that Eagles team.
Mm. Yeah. I get what you're getting at.
Go ahead, Verts.
Yeah, I mean, I want to throw a little bit of context in there, right? So 49ers were without a few things. CMC got hurt. But on top of that, the Browns defense is one of the best defenses in the last 40 years for yards per game against the opponent.
Yeah,
they ranked number one
right
in
now.
almost everything. Yeah. They're number one in everything.
Yeah.
But the reason it's the Eagles is because, one, they lost to Zach Wilson. Okay, that's a problem in itself. Two, the Eagles only rushed for 80 yards, and they average over 150 a game. So they got slowed down. And on top of that, Hurts threw 45 times and had 3 picks. The biggest reason I think it's the Eagles is because they lost so bad they had to sign Julio today.
Wow.
Oh, that's news. Gator,
Wow.
where the heck was that in sports
I-
news? I didn't know about that.
I left it out. That is nothing. That is nothing.
Damn.
I'll be shocked if he plays one snap this year. On that.
I feel you. I feel you. Verge, are you done your take, or you got it? You Larry?
Oh, absolutely. You guys can go for it.
I actually agree. I thought somebody was gonna say the Niners just to troll me, but it looks like we're so far under agreement.
No. Yeah, you.
Okay, I'll leave you last then. I'm gonna say the Eagles as well. I'm gonna say the Eagles as well because I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it in a different aspect. The Niners really had a chance to win that game at the end. It was a field goal miss.
It had a chance.
No, I'm just saying. And not only that, the Eagles have never lost to the Jets in their franchise history. This was a history-making loss for the Jets, and it was the first game in a while where Jalen Hurts really.
That I didn't know.
Jalen Hurts really gave. This is the first time I've ever seen Jalen Hurts really give, besides his rookie year, really give a team a game. I mean, I don't know what he was thinking on that 3rd and 9. If all he has to do is take a sack at that point and punt the ball off, and Jets would have no timeouts with like a minute 10, and they weren't moving the ball all game. So the only thing you cannot do in that situation is throw a pick. He gave them the game. Jalen Hurts that offense is looking a little average this year. I'm not gonna lie. I cannot wait for that Niners-Eagles game week 13. But I'm just looking at the two situations. Given everything that happened in the Niners game, there's no excuses that they lost. I'm not giving any excuses, but for them to be in a position to kick a 41-yard field goal with everything that happened in that game, I think the Eagles situation was a lot worse. They're at full strength losing to the Jets. Full strength losing to Zach Wilson at the Jets. There's no injuries.
No. They was not at full strength. They didn't have Steve.
Wait, let me finish. Yes, they didn't have people, but the Eagles didn't. I mean, the Jets didn't have Sauce Gardner or one of the Williams brothers as well.
Okay, I'm just saying, don't just throw out that the Eagles was full strength either. They didn't have standout defensive.
The Browns weren't either. The Browns weren't. They were missing Deshaun Watson. So I get it. PJ Walker, everybody was hurt, but I'm just saying situation wise, I think the Eagles loss was worse.
The clear answer is the 49ers lost. Like, I'm sorry. I gave the 49ers way too much you seen the praise that I gave them on Friday. Like,
yeah, you had them number one.
And it's deservingly so. They look like the scariest team in the National Football League. And you had an opportunity against P.J. Walker. Let me ask Batman. What college did P.J. Walker go to?
I don't even know his name.
Don't disrespect the XFL MVP. Don't disrespect that.
I'm just asking questions.
Don't disrespect the XFL MVP. He played in the XFL.
I'm not doing anything but asking questions. No disrespect. This is asking questions. Batman.
Never heard of the man.
Let me ask V. V, do you know what college PJ Walker went to?
Yeah, but I don't think it matters.
Okay. I'm sorry. Inform the panel because the panel doesn't know. What was the college?
It's Temple.
Oh,
he went to Temple. Oh, in Pennsylvania. I think it was Philadelphia. Somewhere is it? Okay.
He won the XFL MVP.
I don't look. Is that the Wayne The Rock Johnson's league?
No,
I think
the one a few years ago. The one a few years ago, before COVID.
I'm just saying it's now it's his league. It's Dwayne's league now. So it's just like I don't. You want an MVP in the XFL? Are we kidding? The Houston who's the worst team in the NFL right now? Whoever it is. Let's take the Panthers. The Panthers would win the XFL.
I wouldn't even say it's the Panthers, but
whoever it is, they would go undefeated in the XFL. So don't bring me XFL MVP stuff right now. This is PJ Walker. Your daunting defense, that you had an opportunity to say, okay,
their defense made them average. Their defense made them.
Listen. You had an opportunity to just wipe the floor. Not only that, right? And this is my big point. I said this about Brock Purdy. The second that things are not on time in terms of like when things are not going according
He
to
had a very
plan.
bad game. He had a very
When
bad game.
things, and this is what I said though. I said when things offensively, this is what I said about Purdy. When things offensively are not going according to plan, when you don't got Christian McCaffrey out there gashing defenses for 6 to 8 yards per carry, when you don't got Deebo Samuel taking screens for 12 to 20 yards.
I gotta
Listen,
defend my guy a little bit.
No,
Go
I
ahead.
gotta
Go
finish.
ahead. Yeah, you
When
finish.
you don't got these sort of on-time plays going on, it's very difficult to be somebody that we haven't saw yet. Somebody who, all right,
that I agree with.
Things are not going according to plan right now, Purdy. Who are you? And we found out. And we found out.
I don't think we found out.
And this is what I'm trying to tell you.
It's way too
Don't
early.
tell me that Dak Prescott in Kyle Shanahan's offense with Deebo Samuels, Brandon Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, and that offensive line, you're not going to sit here and tell me that things won't be looking the same exact way that Brock Purdy got it looking, if not better. They will be saying that Dak Prescott is the second coming of.
I'd still take Brock. I'd still take
So
Brock.
I'm taking Brock too.
It's not. I'm telling you, y'all wrong here. It's about when you get comfortable and you're able to see the field a certain way. Like when you get comfortable and you get warmed up because Christian McCaffrey just ran 3 straight. I'm trying to tell y'all, think about these guys as human beings, not as AIs, right?
No,
when
he was missing throws he normally didn't make.
When you got Christian McCaffrey going 3 straight possessions, getting you, 20 yards and three touches to start the drive off, and then you got a nice little, slant route to Deebo. Like when you get warmed up, you start to feel yourself, and you start to see the field all beautifully, and the play calling, and guys getting schemed open, and things is just working perfectly. But the second all of that stuff means nothing no more, and it's all about who you are as a player, and it's no more about. Oh, I'm telling y'all, Brock Purdy. Put him in Dak's shoes with the average to below average offensive coordinator that Mike McCarthy is, and that honestly that Kellen Moore is also. He's not no elite dude anyway, either offensively. Put him in that situation. I'm telling you,
Brock would have hit Tony Pollard.
You would see the same. You will see the same struggles. I'm telling you, it will be inconsistent play. It will be games where he's super inconsistent, and it will be games where he plays pretty decent, and it will be games where he's super inconsistent. Like that. That's who Brock Purdy is. Stop trying to make him the second coming of freaking Tom Brady.
He hasn't had a bad game like that. Go ahead, Verse, and then I'll close.
Well, yeah, let me help you out because I've already said that I don't I'm not that big of a fan of Purdy. But barring last game, Purdy has the best quarterback rating through his career of all time, ahead of Mahomes. He also has.
Let me hold on before you continue. Let me just tell you, when you talk about quarterback ratings, do you realize that you're talking about a system quarterback? Normally, when you have a high quarterback rating, it is because of your efficiency, not because of your cerebralness. Not because you're able to cerebrally read the field, all kinds of crazy, like a Peyton Manning once could, or like some of these other great minds of that read the field. Like quarterback rating is a efficiency rating.
Agreed. And that's the only thing I'm concerned with.
Huh?
That's what I'm concerned with is efficiency rating, because you look at somebody like Purdy who's able, yes, his receivers may get open, his weapons make plays. I 100% agree with you. But at the same time, you still have to hit those throws. And time again, I've seen him hit the throws. It's about the mistakes they make that really define them as quarterbacks. And I see too many mistakes from Dak year after year after year. Turnovers and turnovers and turnovers.
Stuff that vet shouldn't be making. Mistakes that vet shouldn't be making.
When you have to do above, and this is what I'm saying.
Well, let's not act like Dallas hasn't had a slew of weapons ever since Dak.
He had Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb.
And when Dak had Amari Cooper, he was on pace for astronomical numbers. Let's not like we don't remember that
astronomical picks.
No. I'm talking about when he had Amari Cooper, when he had the ankle injury. Prior to that ankle injury, he was throwing for it.
They were number one. They were number one offense that
week. He was throwing like 400 yards a game.
They were number one offensively that year.
So it's just like people got it. Like
But that was
People-
before
it's just-
CeeDee Lamb
do
arrived.
too much.
That was
People do
before
too
CeeDee
much.
Lamb arrived. So I don't know if the play calling was different or if Dak. But there's now Dak is like just I'm seeing things with Dak that like as a
You're not
vet-
doing a good job, Daddy. You're not keeping us on track.
No, we're good. I'm seeing things with Dak that I wouldn't normally see out of like 10-year vets. Like he's making mistakes. Like Brock Purdy's making reads that vets make that like Dak isn't. Like just simple stuff. And I'm gonna defend him a little bit.
disagree.
I'm gonna defend him a little bit in that game because there were a few plays in that game where he made spectacular throws. And Brandon Ayuk missed a wide open touchdown down the field. So there were plays to be made that some of his receivers did not make today. I will admit one thing though. He looked flustered. The pass rush was definitely getting to him. Can
Let
I
me
finish?
ask Batman this question. You a Marine, right, Batman?
Of course.
When you was going through boot camp, when you was going through training, did not some trainers got the best of you, right?
Of course.
Absolutely, right? When you're flustered, the best of you is not present, correct? Like,
That is-
What do you think?
like why are we
Let
acting
me
like we don't
finish my
understand?
point.
Why are we acting like we don't understand this fundamental element
I
of
understand
human?
it.
Like, why
Let
are we
me-
acting like that?
Let me get to
Dak
the
Prescott is under completely different situations and scenarios than is Brock Purdy.
that offense is supposed to be lethal. There's no excuses for Dak. No, definitely no excuses for Dak because we're seeing Dak is
Dak is elite. I'm just saying Dak and Purdy is the same. Like, y'all trying to put Purdy above Dak. It's
Dak is
ridiculous.
Purdy has never had a game like he did this weekend. Literally never in his
Purdy-
career. So let me finish this last point.
Did you just miss my point? I just bought the Marines. Did you just miss what I just said?
I was getting into that, but you didn't let me finish. I was gonna say Brock Purdy definitely looked human on Sunday. The pressure was getting to him. It was the first game where he was really battle tested and he made inaccurate throws. The reads were there. The plays were there. The plays were there to be made, and I did see him struggle. I saw him miss Brandon Ayuk a few times. I saw him miss a George Kittle throw that he normally makes. His accuracy is usually on point. The plays were there to be made against that Cleveland secondary. He just missed the throws. The pick that he threw, Brandon Ayuk was wide open. He just threw it behind him. And I'll agree, that is probably a mental thing, and it's probably something that he hasn't seen in his career yet. But I can't write that off yet. Let's see how he bounces back. Let's see when he's put into that situation again. When he's put in that same situation again, will he prevail? You writing him off. You writing him off a little way too early, in my opinion. But we need to move on.
Let's move on. Yeah, we gotta move on.
I think Verse wanted something.
I'm sure we'll talk about Purdy again.
In regards to the Marines thing, just one real quick thing, dude. A lot of humans, when things don't go their way, a lot of people crumble under pressure. You are absolutely correct. But the ones that don't are the great ones, and those are clutch players, and that's who I want as my quarterback, not someone that's going to throw a fourth quarter
Listen, I'm not going to lie to you. Nobody is void of that, brother. I'm just telling you.
Tom Brady would disagree.
More often than not, I think what he's saying. Like, obviously, even Tom Brady under pressure failed.
Yeah, that's what I'm
success
saying.
rate,
Tom
success
Brady,
rate,
LeBron, like Jordan, like the people that are higher clutch players.
Yeah. We're not saying 100%
Like,
of the time,
like
obviously.
Eli Manning twice when he beat him in the
Oh,
Super
here
Bowl.
we go.
Exactly.
Oh, next topic. Next topic. Next topic, Giant fan. All right, I got a little graphic on the. I'm gonna have a little graphic.
49ers haven't won a Super Bowl before you was born. Come on.
Get that topic off,
It's
Gator.
true.
We behind.
Let's go.
True. We're not behind. The quick takes will be quick takes today because we normally
Okay,
don't do quick takes. We're good. Just trust me. I got this.
Okay.
The quick takes will be quick takes today. NBA top 5. Who wants to start? Your NBA top 5. I'm gonna put a little graphic on so we can follow along with people.
Top 5 what?
Teams?
Top 5 NBA teams going into the 2023-2024 season. Go ahead, Batman. You could start.
Wow.
Guess first.
Gotta go with Denver. Still, to beat a champ, you gotta beat the champs. Gotta go with Denver. Then my number 2.
I'm covering
number 1.
Vertz's face since he doesn't have a face.
We're going with Denver. Then I'm gonna go with
I like that pick, Batman.
I'm gonna go with the Milwaukee Bucks because of their pickup.
Yeah, just tell me the top 5 and then you can explain it.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it.
We'll talk about it. Yeah.
Milwaukee Bucks. Then I got the Phoenix Suns.
Oh.
Then I have Philly got to
That's
be
tough.
in there,
Really?
and Boston.
Boston at 5 or Philly at 5?
Philly at 5. I'm sorry, and Boston at 4.
Okay.
Sheesh.
Go ahead, troll. Go ahead, King.
No, V is V. Guess
No,
first.
I was gonna say, did you wanna attack that list?
I
know you got a lot to say.
I mean, we'll get into it. I mean, I'm just saying, Philly in the top 5 is
no Lakers in the top 5.
No Lakers in the top 5. Hold on. No Golden State in the top 5.
Yeah.
No.
Golden State's not good enough.
No, whatever teams in. I mean, Miami was just in the finals. They're not in the top 5.
No.
You had whatever teams in the West is making noise that I'm not thinking about right now. That's not in the top. I mean, that was kind of. I mean, Philly is a hot take in it. Is it because of the new head coach Nick Nurse that they hired? Like what? Like, explain to me why Philly is in your top 5, Batman.
Because they still got their team. They still have their team. They still have the MVP, the reigning MVP on that team. They're not gonna fall off. They're not.
Okay.
If they would have traded away James Harden, then I would have. They still got James Harden.
Okay.
They still got the reigning MVP.
Okay. That makes sense.
And Golden State, I won't say they was. In bad, they in the top 10 Golden State, but I think they done. The Lakers is another team. They got my boy LeBron King. I'm the one that told you LeBron's gonna be one of the baddest dudes in the NBA, which he's not. Of course, Jordan is. But that being said, LeBron's team is not that team. It's not. They're gonna win a lot of games, but they gotta get bumped just like they did last year in the playoffs.
Well, don't say it like they got bumped in the first round. They went to the conference finals. My goodness.
Look who they played, and you want Golden State up.
I like the list, to be honest. I maybe put the Celtics maybe in front of the Suns, and I don't think the Sixers like. I don't hate the list. I just don't think the Sixers. I think the Lakers are better than the Sixers. That's just my my take on it. Other than that, it's not a bad list. I like it. Verts?
I also do not have the 76ers in my list because that was the second most overrated MVP ever. Joker should have got it again.
I agree.
I disagree with that take.
Go ahead. We could save that for another show.
I have the Nuggets.
Go ahead. Who's Nuggets at 1?
I got the Nuggets at 1. I got the Bucks at 2. I got the Suns at 3. I got the Lakers at 4, and then I got the Warriors at 5.
Wow.
No Celtics. No Celtics in the top 5 after what they just.
Nope.
No Celtics.
I'm talking about. I understand.
No, we got to talk about that. We got to talk about that.
I understand the Celtics will probably have a top 3 or 4 record in the entire NBA, but I'm talking about top 5 chance to win a championship, and time again they choke. So
yeah, but they added so many people. Drew Holiday, Porzingis.
It's different factors now.
I understand that, but there's things like Nuggets have Joker. The Suns, yes, the Suns lack a leader, but they also have KD, Book, and Beal, who are definitely better than that team. The Bucks, Dame and Giannis would be 2 of the best players on that court, and they're definitely more fire to win a championship than probably any team on this list. The Warriors are the Warriors, and they have Steph Curry, so I can't ever count them out. And the same thing goes for LeBron and the Lakers.
You don't think the Celtics are better than the Warriors, though?
You think the Lakers have a chance of winning a championship?
Yes, they do.
Absolutely.
Yes, they do. With what they added, yes, they do.
Absolutely. Any team with LeBron has a chance to win a championship.
Well, I mean, that's fair to say. That's fair to say. But when 5 years ago,
they just made the Western Conference Finals with a bunch of bums. They revamped this year.
And didn't they win it 3 years ago?
Yeah, they did. I'm not gonna
give or take.
I can't even hear you, King. Eat first.
I'm sorry. That was funny what Batman said when he said, "Yeah, that makes sense 5 years ago." But like Bird said, it was funny, Batman, but it was just untrue because they just literally won a chip like 2 years
Yeah,
ago. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
It wasn't 2 years.
gotta
It was
do it.
three
Gotta
years
do it.
ago. No, 3 years ago.
It was
Wasn't
3 years, the COVID year.
Yeah.
About 3 years ago, give or take. But I thought 5 years. 5
Can
years
you
is and now
just,
3 years
Verge,
later.
real quick? Can you just tell me the top five again? For a clip.
Yeah, I got the Nuggets, the Bucks, the Suns, the Lakers, and the Warriors.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Next.
I'll go.
I mean,
Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah.
I got Denver. They're the team to beat this year. It's clear to me. They're just so deep. And then I got the Lakers at 2. I really like that roster this
Holy
year.
man.
I really do. I really
Ayo,
like
that
that
makes
roster.
mine seem way better.
I got the Bucks at 3. I
that's
got
what I
the,
like, baby. That's what I like.
I got the Celtics at 4 and the Suns at 5. I do not like that Suns roster. I am not a fan. King knows that. I like them for the regular season. I think they're going to win a shit ton of games just because of how the NBA is played in the regular season. I know you can't sit out as much anymore, but you could still rest a starter. They could still rest at least one starter. So that team is going to be dominant the whole year because they're always going to have 2 starters playing. Even when teams are sitting out, they're going to win a lot of regular season games. But I think, and I told King this, when the tough gets going and they need to grind out some wins in the playoffs, that threesome is just going to be a little funny. It's going to be who's taking the big shots. I don't think they're going to gel well together when they have to grind out a win. But they're still very, very good. They're definitely still a top 5 team. The Celtics just picked up Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis on an already loaded roster. So I got them at 4. The addition to Dame I think is really good, but I think Milwaukee did lose some pieces there. So I think they're a little bit better than they were last year, not drastically. So I got them at 3, but I think the Lakers got drastically better with the additions that they made in the offseason. I mean, they have depth up the gazoo. Like their bench players are gonna be looking like starters out there. Some of the bench players that they have are gonna be looking like starters out there with the addition to the guy from Miami, and then they picked up the center. Why do I always forget their names? Who was the guy they picked up from Miami? The
who
guard
picked up?
that the Lakers picked up, the guard.
Oh, you talking about? Yeah. You're talking about. Yeah, I always forget his name too.
That he was,
but he played phenomenally
in the playoffs for the Heat. So I really like the Lakers.
Huge pickup, by the way.
Yeah, huge. And Denver is just Denver. Like, we know who they are now. They got over the hump, and I don't see them going anywhere. Like, they're going to be a top 1 or 2 seed. Like, the Lakers are going to have to beat them. The Lakers are going to have to beat them. Denver is the favorite. They are the clear favorites to win the NBA title right now. They're just dominant in all phases of the game, and Jokic is really the best player in the NBA right now. So I'm gonna always put, especially in the NBA, I'm gonna take the best player on the best team. Usually, the best player in the NBA is on the best team. So you got to put them out.
I'm not gonna be naive about this. I'm just like, Boston is the best team in the national. That's in the National Basketball
I don't
Association.
disagree with that. Like
list.
Like,
list. Like no. I mean, because I'm the last person.
List for the.
I'm the last person in the panel. Okay, so it's Boston, and then it's Denver, and then it's Milwaukee, and then after Milwaukee, it's the partridge in a pear trees that you can just select. But I'm gonna go with the Lakers, and then I'm gonna go with Golden State. That's my top
Phoenix
5, right?
Out. Why? And then you could talk about Boston. Why are you leaving Phoenix?
Well, the reason why I'm leaving Phoenix out is just straight up because of defense, right? You got those 3 guys on the court: Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, who are all scorers, right? All of these dudes are scorers. I played this game, so I'm just talking about from a perspective of playing the game. When you understand, like when you're a scorer, right? That more than likely means that you're not a 2-way player. Like, none of these guys, like Booker, KD, and Bradley Beal are not 2-way players. When you got to play against teams like Joker, when you got to play against teams like Anthony Davis, when you got to play against teams like Joel Embiid, like bruiser kind of team. I'm talking about teams that make you have to defend, make you have to go outside of your comfortability, which is scoring your little cute little 30 points per game, which all three of them are capable of doing. But when you got to now, because all three of them got to be on the court now, right? Like when you're in the playoffs, all three of them must be on the court. They're going to be on the court. They just are. So now when you got three scorers on the court, having to defend against bruisers, like tough players that are not going to allow them to take a defensive possession off. And then you're going to have to now ask them to defend at a high level and then come on the offensive end and play high efficiency offense. Like it's even you're going to have to do one of the two things. You're going to give up, you're going to give up easy buckets on defense so that you could save your energy to have high efficiency offense on offense. So that, look, if I'm Bradley Beal, KD, or Booker, I'm not going to go hard on defense. I'm going to give up easy points so that I can still stay fresh on the offensive end to be able to score at an efficient level. Not that they won't be able to score. It's at an efficient enough level to win games and huge playoff games. But if you take the initiative to be like, you know what? I'm going to go all out. I'm going to bang with these tough dudes. I'm going to try to, defend, go all out. You're not going to
100% agree
have
with
the
you.
legs. You're not going to have the legs through the course of an entire game, especially in a series, to have consistent offensive efficiency. I know this game, man.
Well,
And so that's the thing that scares me about this trio. What was you going to say, Verge?
Well, I agree, but at the same time I don't, because so one thing, KD historically has been one of the most underrated defensive players in the league. He
That-
averages over a block a game. He averages over a steal
Hey,
a game. What?
Exactly. That was with Golden State.
No, it was
That was
also it was also last year, and it was also when he was on Brooklyn. But the reason that I mostly disagree is because yes, traditionally you have three offensive guys that don't play much defense. In theory, I agree. But now you're telling me you have three people that can score 30 points a night. Maybe one
Absolutely.
person gets to rest their legs a little bit more to play more defense. Maybe so they don't have to shoulder the load of scoring all the points like they used to.
And again, to piggyback off your point, what did you say? I'm picking the top 5 teams that has a chance to win the whole thing. And so I'm talking about when it matters most with this team. I fear that on the defensive end, they're not going to give enough effort because it's one of two things. It's just the fatigue of an athlete is a real factor. It's not it's not a non-factor. So it's either
Unless you're LeBron.
it's either you take your lapses. I mean, LeBron is just not human, but LeBron not human. I'm not talking about LeBron. I'm just saying fatigue is a real factor. When you take it, it's either
Finish
you take
that
your
take
lapses.
up and then talk about the Celtics so we can get moving on a little bit.
Yes, it's either you take your lapses on defense, or you and so that you can still contribute on the offensive end, or you sacrifice something on the offensive to try to play harder defense. Like that's what scares me about this team. And so, and as far as with Boston being my number one team, I'm telling everybody, what was the one thing that every year when Boston fails and when Boston comes up short, what is their main problem? Jason
Their
Tatum
stars.
didn't step up. Jason Tatum didn't
Yep.
step up. Jaylen Brown didn't step up. I kept trying to tell people, as much as I love Jason Tatum, as much as I love him as a player, he is not Kobe yet or ever will be. He's not Jordan. He's they're lacking star power in Boston. I kept trying to say it. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown wasn't enough. They are lacking star power. And now they finally got more star power when you add Kristaps Porzingis, who just averaged 25 points per game in 60 games on 50% shooting from the field in Washington. That is your third option. So finally, he overcame his health woes, and he is your third option. So now you got a power complex that is taking place in Boston that people are underestimating and not really seeing. And then you add Drew Holiday to that mix. That's when everything went overboard for me. And now I look at Boston as the most formidable foe in the National Basketball Association.
Can I ask you a
But we
question
can
about
move on.
Boston real quick?
Yeah.
So there's been rumors that they're already trying to move Drew Holiday. Do you think that that factors into how much he's worth?
I mean, depending on what they're able to get back from him, it's like they might be moving. They might be trying to move him because teams might be desperate and might give them more to contribute to that team than just what Drew Holiday would contribute alone. They wouldn't like we gotta understand they wouldn't do a move that would make them less than having Drew Holiday on their team. They would
Oh,
only
I
because
agree.
at the end of the day he is 35. So it's like if I could get some young players that would make us better, than Drew Holiday would if we just kept Drew Holiday because the team wants to be desperate, then I'm definitely gonna do that. I mean, that's just smart, general managing. So
I just think it's hard to say that Drew Holiday is going to be a big piece of them winning a championship if they're already
he
looking to
just
stop
is.
him before he plays a
If
game.
he plays,
He
he
just
will.
is. He just is. He
He's a
just
really
is. He
good
just is.
player. He really is.
He just is.
I
And we
mean,
can-
he's good at
That
we
would
can
be
move forward.
crazy. That'd be crazy if they did that. Wow, what? I mean, it depends, I guess, who they get, but he's a
Right.
key piece to winning a championship. The Bucks probably don't win that championship a few years
They
ago. if
don't. It's
have
not
Drew
probably.
Holiday.
They don't.
They don't.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
don't. Because Chris
we move
Middleton was
forward.
banged up, right? Too.
We move forward.
Yeah, Lions. Surprise. I wouldn't say surprise. I don't know if we thought they were going to be this good already. I'm not going to say a
Being
surprise.
called
They're
it.
hitting on all cylinders right now.
Being cold
What is the
before
biggest contribution to their success? Is it their defense? Is it their quarterback? Is it David Montgomery? Is it Monroe? Like, what is the
Is it
biggest?
the head coach? I mean,
Is it the head coach?
Guess
It could be
guess the
anything.
always.
Or is it all of it together?
First.
Go ahead,
So
go
verse-
ahead, Batman. It looks like you ready
Verse
to.
or Batman, take it over.
team. I told King, I said, because, the coach they have, he played with some good coaches, for one, and he's always been a tough player in the NFL. And he got them running through walls for them. They believe everything he said out of his mouth. And they got good players. They don't have like big superstars, but sometimes you don't need big superstars in your team.
Especially in football.
I want to bring this point up, not because I'm a Giant fan. Look at the Giants that beat Eli Manning beating a Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, because the Giants played team football on both cylinders, offense and defense. They bend, but they didn't break, and that's what's so scary about the Lions. They bend, and you say, "Oh man, the Lions about to get beat right now," and then they don't break. It's like, boom! They play phenomenal together.
I think they moved into the second best defense in the NFL in DVOA right now. I think they're second best now. They went
There's
from
no one player or couple of players on the defensive line or the cornerback safety is not. They don't have the Parsons or not, but they have the schemes. I guess is between the schemes and the players running the wall for them. That they play, and they play solid. They play like what do I want to say? They play no flag football. They're not really out there to make a lot of mistakes like pass interference calls and bad.
That's a great point.
And they just play solid football. And what the refs gonna do is when they see they're not playing dirty or anything straight up, the refs they gonna give them breaks and stuff like that. They're a solid team. And that's just the bottom line. Now, winning a Super Bowl, I can't say that.
Of course.
Of offense, but they're gonna scare a lot of teams in there.
I don't want to play them in the playoffs.
Nobody gonna want to play them.
Not at all. Bert, you got
It's the playoff. It's the playoffs. That idea of I don't want to play somebody in the playoffs goes out the window when the playoff comes around.
Well, there's always that one team you want to avoid. They're definitely that team.
If
you're a high seed, I'm saying if you're the Niners or the Eagles and you got to see any of those teams, any of those NFC teams in the second round, you don't want to see the Lions. That's
really, you're just pissed off that you got to play that hard in the first round. You're not. It's not.
Second round.
First or second round, yeah, whatever.
They're not gonna play the 3 seed. Those teams.
I mean, at the end of the day, the Lions. Yeah,
I'm gonna just hope for them to lose. I'm gonna just hope they're gonna win their division. They're gonna probably be the 3 or the 2 seed. I'm gonna just hope the Lions get upset in the first round because I don't want to play them. Verts, you got what do you think's their biggest
contributing factor to the Lions? A lot of people would say it's Jared Goff at 70% completion percentage, 270 yards a game, 105
He's
pass
very
rating.
underrated. Very
A lot of
underrated.
people would also say it's Monty and Gibbs. The team's averaging 124 yards per game rushing. Some would even say Sam Laporta. He looks like he's a veteran. I'm going to say neither of them. None of those people at all. Whoever is calling the plays for the Lions is the one that deserves all the credit. Their scheme is amazing. They're putting all their people in positions to succeed, and it's very exciting to watch them play every single week.
Yes.
Great take.
That was actually a good take because
Great
they
take.
do
Great
remind me
take.
because like their roster isn't like numbly.
Yeah, the
like,
names
talented.
the names doesn't pop out at you.
So he's whoever's calling the plays over there. I don't know who the offensive coordinator is, but he's definitely making the best out of his player. He's getting the best out of his players. So that guy might be a head coach, whoever that is, sometime soon.
Definitely.
The fact that I don't know his name is actually disrespectful. Who is the? Can we find that out?
Me too, considering it was my take.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure if it was the offensive coordinator or the coach calling the plays.
I don't think he calls the plays. I think he's a defensive coach, right?
No, he's he's an offensive guy. 100%. The head
coach.
coach.
He is.
Yes, he's a former tight. He's a former tight end. He's a former tight end in the national when he was playing.
It's
He's
Ben Johnson. Their offensive coordinator is Ben Johnson. So if it is Ben Johnson, you might.
Kudos to you, Ben Johnson.
Kudos.
I mean, Ben Johnson was the offensive was the offensive coordinator of who? What wasn't he attached to Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram when they went off?
yes.
Yeah,
He was the Saints offensive coordinator with Sean
coordinator.
Payton. Yes. And with Drew Brees and Sean Payton, the year Alvin Kamara went crazy. That's why they drafted Jahmyr Gibbs.
That was Alvin Kamara's rookie year where he went absolutely stupid. Yes, and let me put this thing into perspective for everybody, right? Like, you gotta understand, head coach Ben Johnson. Guess what tree they come from? Same tree as Sean Payton.
What did you just press on your screen? Your balloon.
I love it. I love it. Production is growing on this show, and we're gonna keep it going. Listen, but this is what I'm saying. Who Ben Johnson? Give me the head coach of the Lions team, please.
I don't know why I don't know this.
Give me the head coach of the Lions, please.
And you say
give
it
me
all
his
the time.
name.
You give him props all
Dan
the time.
Campbell.
Dan Campbell.
Yes, Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson. Guess who tree they come from? My dude that's in Denver right now, who had a lot of success in New Orleans.
Sean Payton.
Sean Payton.
And guess who Sean Payton comes from? Guess who Sean Payton comes from? Bill Parcells. We gotta understand something. That was an intentional hire from Campbell. Dan Campbell hired Ben Johnson. He knew what he was getting from Ben Johnson. Dan Campbell was under Sean Payton, and Sean Payton said, "Listen, Dan, I'm gonna give you everything that Bill Parcells gave me." The number one line that Bill Parcells said is what? If you want me to cook the dish, let me buy the groceries, right? Let me pick the players. You got all these GMs that want to be GMs, that want to pick the players, Bill Parcells was like, stop, what? I'm going to head coach a team that somebody else picks for me? No. Bill Parcells says, if you want me to cook the dish, let me buy the groceries. And that is the number one thing that sits with me. And that's why I give y'all a little pushback, just a little pushback on personnel. These guys got everybody that's on that roster right now. Dan Campbell sought out. Sam Laporta, he sought out. He went out in free agency and got David Montgomery. He got a lot of guys, rookies, that are stepping up and playing phenomenal football for him under his terminologies and under his schemes and under his form of thinking. When you combine all of that stuff with Ben Johnson, Dan Campbell coming from the same tree, picking guys that they want, the groceries that they chose in order to cook the dish that we're witnessing right now, it's just, all I'm saying is just a little pushback on personnel in terms of, yes, we don't know the names. I'm going to just say this, yet. That's all I'm saying. We don't know the names yet. And for example, right? I guarantee you, if they go to the NFC Championship game and fall short, losing the NFC Championship game,
could.
I'm just saying though, we'll know then. We'll know the names then. You know what I mean? Like, first round, they step up, perform, go crazy. Second round, they step up, perform, go crazy. We'll know the names then. We're like, dang, they got such and such, such and such, such. We'll know the names then, and we know that they got the dude that they drafted number 2 overall from Michigan. What's his name on the line? Forget his name, but he was drafted number 2 overall. He's on the D line.
Aiden Hutchinson.
Aiden Hutchinson. They got DBs back there. They got dudes now. It's just that
they got somebody from Alabama, the cornerback.
They got a rookie. They got a rookie from Alabama who's stepping up right now. They got dudes, but they got Dan Campbell chose those dudes, and to me, the number one contributor is that man. Is Dan Campbell. When you take on from somebody who is so great, like a Sean Payton who learned from Bill Parcells. So Dan Campbell's entire sort of like coaching identity comes from Bill Parcells. The great ones learn from the other greats and take it and make it their own. And Dan Campbell has truly been able to make this thing, everything that he's learned, he made it his own, and we're looking at it right now. And so I give the most of the contribution to Dan Campbell and how this thing is coming together right now.
I like it. I think we all kind of agree. Well, not agreed on the same thing, but at least Verts and King something to do with the coaching staff for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Explain to the people this next topic because I'm not even sure. So the beatdown. Explain it, King. What you're.
No, the beatdown is on the big dog segment.
I'm gonna put all three on the.
It's on the big dog segment. It's just super quick takes on what the heck happened, why these teams got beat down the way that they did, and what is our first team that got beat down this weekend? And it got to be a 14-point or more margin to make the beat down list. Why did this team get beat down? First team is who, Gator?
First team is the Cardinals. I'm gonna put them all three. Cardinals, Colts, and Panthers got beat down.
Who's the first matchup, Gator?
Cardinals, Rams. I just said that.
Oh, Cardinals. Was it at SoFi? Was it at the Rams?
No. Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Okay, so Cardinals got beat down by the Rams. What happened?
Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp's back. Offense is looking phenomenal for the Rams. That's really all it is. The Cardinals aren't a good football team. They kind of hang around in the first half of the year. That's really all I got to say about that. Quick little take, but I think it was Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp's back. Rams offense is looking elite again. Stafford's having a good season. The Rams aren't as bad as we thought they were going to be. I wouldn't be surprised if they make the playoffs.
I definitely wouldn't be surprised. Verge, do you know why they beat down take on him?
I mean, I agree. The Rams offense looks good with him and Nakua. You also have Kyren Williams doing his thing. On top of that, I think that without them still not having Kyler Murray, even though Dobbs has played well, now that they don't have James Conner for a few weeks, it really shows in their offense. They can't run and maintain the ball like they normally would to slow down an offense like the Rams, and I think that plays a big factor.
Everything I just alluded to, Cooper Kupp being back, the Cardinals wasn't worth nothing from day one. Everybody thought the Cardinals were better than advertised because of their first, and I just stayed the course like the Cardinals was a bad team. So that's all I got.
Beat Dallas. Batman, I think went off camera, so he's
next
probably busy.
Next one.
Colts and Jaguars. The Jags are just a really good football team. I think they're finally coming together. The Colts without Anthony Richardson don't match up at all. They can't extend plays as much as they could with the AR-15 in there. I like Gardner Minshew. I think they're just still trying to switching from AR-15 to Gardner Minshew is a big thing. It's like the whole playbook has to change. So I think they still have to figure out what kind of team they want to be now with Jonathan Taylor and Gardner Minshew back. That's a tough game to go into for your first game with Gardner Minshew, like fully understanding hey, this is going to be our starter the rest of the year.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I thought the Colts were they fooled me into thinking they were formidable.
You don't know what team's going to show up. They can be good. Their defense, they have the players on defense to be good. Their defensive line is talented. It's weird. I will never bet on a Colts game this year. That's because they're gonna win games they shouldn't. I know it's gonna happen.
Exactly. I just thought that this game in particular, I thought would be closer. Not that I didn't know who was gonna win. I just definitely thought when you combine Jonathan Taylor, Zach Moss, this offensive line, the defensive players that they got over there,
Agreed.
I just thought it was gonna be closer. I thought it was gonna be closer. Got beat down. Anything on that, Verge?
I mean, the Jags offense is just extremely good. I mean, I still don't think they've even really scratched the surface yet for what they're capable of.
I
But at the
agree.
same time, I think the Colts right now are just, they have an entire offensive group of people that just don't play, what's the word, consistent every
Complimentary.
week from week to week. I mean, Jonathan Taylor also isn't getting a full workload, so I know that's not easy mixing running backs back and forth. They don't really get their swing of things. But I mean, it's what you expect with the second quarterback coming in behind Anthony Richardson, in my opinion.
Makes sense. That's true.
Last one is Panthers at Dolphins. They went up 14-0 and lost 42 to like 21. Yikes, or something like that. My quick take is I think out of my quick take on this is out of the 20 or 30 years that I've been watching football, I've seen some great offenses, but this Miami Dolphins offense scares the piss out of me. There's so much speed on that team. It doesn't matter who is going to touch the ball on that play. You got to find a way to tackle them. You have to find a way to... They handed off to Mostert. It's one of the fastest running backs in the league. They have David Achaney, who's on IR a few weeks ago, that we saw take a ball to the... ran right around the Giant defender. I didn't even think... It looked like he was the fastest player on that team at one point. You got Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, the two fastest wide receivers. Tyreek Hill is the fastest wide receiver in the NFL, and then you got Jalen Waddle, who's got to be in the top 10, top 5. Like, that team is so... How do you tackle them in open field? How do you keep up with them? How do you guard them? And Tua is playing phenomenal, too, getting them the rock. He's making accurate throws downfield. People are saying Tua's just throwing the ball to them in there. No, he is throwing accurate balls to these guys deep. Like, that team is scary. It's one of my favorite offenses I've ever seen playing the game, watching the game of football.
I'm not mad at that take.
In the 30 years that I have,
I'm not mad at that take at all.
It's
my biggest. I think they got blown out because I never seen an offensive coordinator / head coach, because he's a head coach, but truly he's an offensive coordinator who
and he
literally
doesn't care. He does not care.
Who literally predicates his offense on speed. How intelligent do you got to be able, as an offensive coordinator, to only need speed to be a great offense? Like, you don't need, I'm not saying Tyreek Hill not talented, but I'm almost saying Tyreek Hill not talented. I mean, Tyreek Hill relies a lot. Tyreek Hill hates this, and I'll put this out there. He's not a true wide receiver. A lot of people disagree with that take, but it's just he's not. He's out there literally
just running,
using his speed. Bro, it's a cheetah on the football field. Like, somebody catch the cheetah. Damn.
And I think we're overestimating Tyreek Hill. Not overestimating. I'm saying, on that team, the coach on that team comes from Kyle Shanahan's tree. That outside zone run game is just you got to worry about Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Yet they're like one of the best running teams in the NFL. They run an outside zone concept that teams cannot stop. They get Mostert out and Achaney out on the edge, and they just fly. You got to worry about Tyreek. They would rather run the football.
This is what I was getting at, though, is the fact that when it comes down to guys like Tyreek Hill, another perfect example is Calvin Johnson, right? It's just I love these guys. I love what they brought to the game so much. Why? Because they broke the mold, bro. They weren't true wide receivers. Calvin Johnson was just 6'4" with an insane vert, long-ass arms, great hands.
And he ran a 4.3.
And he ran a 4.3. He didn't have to have tactician route running like a Chad
That team
Ochocinco
is that
or
offense
or
is
like
sick.
a or like a Calvin Ridley kind of like his route, like these two dudes, their route running is not cerebral. Like they won't
Well, I
beat you.
disagree.
I'm just saying,
Wait,
in my opinion, like from
which wide receiver?
Tyreek and Calvin Johnson.
I just
Oh.
think their route running ability is not cerebral. There were a lot of guys. If you give those two guys their route running tree, their route running ability, those two guys would have been unworldly. Like they're guys who
They kind of
definitely
are already, though.
There's
I'm
there's
just
a
saying,
lot of
I'm talking
receivers
about
that run a 4.2 that don't get to play in the NFL. If speed was the only thing that mattered, then Tyreek wouldn't be open half the
it's-
time.
Yeah,
He
look
could
at
run
John
his
Ross.
own.
Look at John Ross.
it's not that speed is the only thing that mattered. And shoot, with John Ross, if you put him in his Mike McDaniel offense, I think Mike
Maybe.
McDaniel was that. I think Mike
Maybe, yeah.
McDaniel was that good. But I'm just saying that it's not. I give you that, Vern. I'm not just saying that it's only about speed. Or what I'm saying though is that
Like average route
it's
running? Is that what you're saying?
put it like this. It's a mind like you can have like I think I think I'm talking to everybody in here who's played sports before. You could have the same amount of speed as I do, but you just don't have the same, you don't have the same recipe as me. Like you like I just understand this the complexities of this game better than you. Like it's not like when I watch Tyreek Hill play right off the break, like at the scrimmage line, he's not breaking dudes right off the gate like a Devontae Adams would, like a Amari Cooper does. Like it's literally like he's getting 5-10 yards down the field and then creating that separation because he just understands the field. He'll break left, hard stop, break
You're saying
right.
like a Travis
and-
Kelsey kind of?
no, I think Travis Kelsey is a phenomenal route runner, and he's just smart. Like, and matter of fact, I want to give you
because he creates his
I
own
want to give
routes.
you the Travis Kelsey comparison.
Travis Kelsey
Yes.
finds open space and he creates his own route.
Yes, I want to give you the Travis Kelsey comparison. This is my point, Vern, and I love Gator for what you just did for me just there, because this is what I'm trying to say.
You wrap it up, though.
Dudes,
quick take.
Yes, quick take. These dudes, Hill and Calvin Johnson, I'm saying that they're more
Football IQ.
cerebral. They're more cerebral up top than we give them credit for. Like it's more so like with Travis Kelsey, what Gator was saying was, it's like I just understand where to sit down in the zone. I understand where to. It's not necessarily because I have this impeccable route running ability, and that's the reason why I'm shaking dudes off me. It's not. No, I understand the game that I'm playing in its totality out here, and I think they get off a lot on that. And you gotta remember, Calvin Johnson.
I'm gonna
there was a lot
moderate a
of
little
things-
bit here. Let's get a little back. I agree with everything you said, King, but let's get like beat down. We're talking about why
Yes,
did
go ahead,
Miami
go ahead,
beat
go ahead. And Vern, you
ahead,
can close
Verse.
this out, Vern.
Yeah, let's get Verts.
Yeah, I mean, there's really not much to it. The Dolphins scored 70 points this season.
Yeah.
The Panthers have a rookie quarterback. Their best receiver is Adam Thielen. I mean, that's about sums it up.
Okay,
Yeah, that's basically right.
moving on.
You want to skip since Batman left? You want to skip the old school, new school? Because I got nothing
Yo,
on that
what
today.
we got? What are you talking about? We got Vern here.
I don't know.
Crazy?
We could try it. I don't know if you.
What do you mean try it?
I
Vern,
don't know how
Vern
much
know
he
we
knows
talking-
about old school basketball. So go ahead.
Well, I am old.
I'm old too, but I don't know a goddamn thing about stuff
Look,
past like
It's
2000.
You're not old.
Gilbert
Arenas versus
Johnson,
Kevin
right?
Johnson. Go ahead, have at it.
Yeah, I took my time and I really dove into this for all of a matter of 10 minutes. And essentially my take is flip a coin. Their stats are almost identical. It really wouldn't make a difference to me who I had
But
on my team.
that's all of the just to put you on, that's all of the old school versus new school. It's always super tight. So it's always
For
pennies.
sure, 100%. No, I get it. But when it comes to people like, I guess if I had to choose, I would go Kevin Johnson. But that's more so because I'm tired of Gilbert's awful social media takes lately.
No, I ain't gonna lie. Some of them be true. The drug one is true. Like, in the 80s,
I didn't even know he was on social media.
Yeah, he's all over it.
That's funny.
to
I have
try
to look that
to
up.
try to make the 80s this phenomenal era when a lot of those dudes in the NBA was on drugs,
Yep.
it is funny. That's because it's true. It's not true. When Jordan first came into the league, he got into his locker room. All of those dudes were crackheads and
Yeah,
drunks.
he's smoking cigars in the locker room. Like, I know that's not a drug, but I'm just saying, like, you can't do that in the NBA now.
Right. And I'm just saying.
You
like,
can't
so
do
I don't.
anything.
There's
You gotta be
there's
super careful
I
nowadays.
think Gilbert Arenas, he does a poor job, like sort of elaborating on the truth, but he does speak a lot of truth though. Like the basis of the conversation be true, but he just doesn't know how to fully like give the context that we're looking for. But so I'll be watching. I don't know. It's just me.
Yeah, me too. It's watchable.
But you said Kevin Johnson though, right? That's that. If you had to
If I
nitpick,
had to pick, gun to my head, yes, I'm taking Kevin Johnson. More assists per year. I'd rather have the assist player.
I mean, if they're very identical like that, I would prefer the team player too. I don't know anything about Kevin Johnson, so I don't really want to get into.
went to NBA Finals with Charles Barkley. And actually he had a phenomenal career, man. He had a phenomenal career. I just got to give it to Agent Zero, and the reason why is because of his cerebral scoring ability. I feel as though Kevin Johnson came up short in that finals against Michael Jordan. We seen what Gilbert Arenas did to Kobe Bryant, who was the second coming of Michael Jordan, and put up 60 points on Kobe Bryant in a matchup that they had in a regular season game. And I just feel like if Charles Barkley had that on his side in that finals, a guy that can score and fill it up like Gilbert Arenas could and was capable of, that Kevin Johnson couldn't even dream to be capable of as far as scoring alone, I just feel as though things would have been more interesting in that Phoenix series against the Bulls in the finals. So I got to give the edge to Gilbert Arenas, my personal take on that. And this could be a really quick and short and sweet old school versus new school take. We don't got to stay long on this because I know we're a little behind schedule.
We're good.
So, but that's just my
I'm gonna
that's
move
just my
one
take.
topic. I'm gonna move one topic for next show, so we're good.
That's just my take. What topic?
I want to give the
Don't-
Texans. I want to give the Texans some actual love. So
Okay.
I'm gonna move
Okay.
that to Friday. We'll really talk
I
about.
definitely wanted to talk about that Texans one, but it's okay.
We will on Friday. I want to give them the appropriate time spot though, and I know Verts really wanted to talk about this next topic, so I'd rather move the Texans one. So
All right, moving on.
Yeah, we got. What's up with the Bills? Are we giving them me? Okay, so let me give Vert some context on this. After the Jaguar loss last week, me and King kind of gave them a little leeway on that. It was it was a little like going to London. The Jaguars have been in London for
Jet
a
lag,
week. Whatever it was. It was just not.
I hear you.
It was weird. We gave them a pass. Are we done giving them passes after that game last night? I mean, they beat the Giants by 1 yard. They beat the Giants by 1 football yard. I'll let you start on this. Are we giving them a pass?
You sure you want me to go first on this one?
Do you want me to?
I don't mind. No, I don't mind. But this is my team. I'm a Josh Allen fanboy. So this is going to be a take. I can go first. All right.
We love it. Go ahead.
Do the Bills get a pass? Yes. Here's why. They're 12th in rushing yards per game.
They won the game, too.
I know, but barely. I don't consider it a win, but I'll get into that. They're 12th in rushing yards per game, 8th in passing yards per game, 12th in defensive yards per game allowed, 4th in special teams, and 6th overall in passing defense. So the team in total is okay. Josh Allen does not get a pass. As much as I am a fan of Josh Allen, he has 6 picks already this year, 3 against the Jets in a losing effort that should have been an impossible game to lose, 1 versus the Jags for a loss with 2 fumbles, and he has 8 turnovers in 6 games, the most since entering the league with 97 over 83 games. So Josh Allen needs to step up and stop playing like he's Dak Prescott and turning the ball over and start being the real Josh Allen that he should be.
This is Verts' team, so he's a little.
No, I'm hearing it.
So he's saying he's giving the Buffalo Bills a pass because I know you stepped out for a second, but not Josh Allen.
No,
saying Josh.
I heard everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I disagree. I had the Bills in my top 5 the past 5 weeks. When we make these ratings in a little bit, they're gonna be out of the top 5, and I just think you got to blow that team out, especially coming after a loss, coming out of a loss to a bad loss, by the way, in London against Jacksonville. You come home. This should be a blowout win. This should be a game where you get the offense going. You get some rhythm on offense, and this is the teams that the Niners, the Cowboys blew out by 20 to 40 points. The Seahawks blew them out. This is a team at home you have to blow and get some rhythm going. I still believe they're a top 10 team in the NFL, so it's not like we're not like in panic mode just yet with the Bills, but I'm not giving them a pass for the way they performed anymore. I can't. If they from now on, I'm calling out the Bills for their bad performance, and I love the Bills. They're my favorite team in the AFC, but I got to be hard on them now. King?
Pick right here. Can you hear me?
Not yet.
Can y'all hear-
Usually, not yet. But
Wait.
you're good now.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. This is my AFC Super Bowl pick, man. Oh,
Yeah, this
man,
was his
this is tough,
preseason
man.
pick. This was his preseason pick. to
Smart
win the
man.
Super Bowl.
This is my Super Bowl. Because why? Because they had everybody back. I mean, people underestimate the fact that their whole
No, Matt
secondary.
Milano
is
and
DB.
Tre'Davious White loss is like
People understand,
So
people don't
tough.
understand, their secondary was dismantled last year. Then Von Miller goes down. I'm just and then they all back healthy. Von Miller's working his way back, and I'm thinking that the secondary is going to stay healthy. And the secondary flops again. Tre'Davious White goes down. I mean, they still got the 2 safeties who are studs. They're still there, but I'm just that's good. But Tre'Davious White, a shutdown corner, just done. I mean, they still got the one dude, I want to say he's from Florida. I think his name is Lamb or something. I forget his name. But it's just, man, the injuries, man, they just not stopping for this defense. I don't know what is going on, but fully healthy, man, this team is actually scary. And what keeps being proven true is the fact that when they're not fully healthy, they're not as scary and not as formidable. I don't fear this team when they're not fully healthy. It's the same with the 49ers. When the 49ers, always, have these injury issues and, just because teams like the Bills, and this is why I'm calling for the head coach to possibly be moved on from. Teams
I'm
like
not a
the
fan
Bills.
of him either. I'm not a fan of him either.
Teams like the Bills are personnel heavy. 49ers, I love Kyle Shanahan, but without Kyle Shanahan, that would still be a playoff team. They're personnel heavy. They rely on personnel in order to get them to, the mountaintop, over the hurdle. And so when their personnel goes down, I get really, really nervous. And so now I'm really upset about my pick. But so I don't get,
Don't be.
I don't give them a pass. I don't give them a pass because, if their defense can't stay healthy,
Well, they can't.
then-
They've already lost their 2 guys, so they're already unhealthy. They're
that's what I'm
they're not
saying.
getting those 2 guys back.
Oh, they're done for the year.
Let me ask you guys a
Tre'Davious White and
follow-up
Matt
question.
Milano are done for the year.
Yeah,
So
Brian.
those 2 got hurt in the first quarter or first half of the Dolphins game, right?
Matt Milano got hurt in in London.
What about the other one?
Tre'Davious White, fourth quarter of the Dolphins game, correct? Where they blew
And
out
both
the
of you,
Dolphins.
both of you, I would assume, would agree that the Dolphins are at least a top 5, if not top 10.
Yeah, they'll be
team
in my
the-
top 5. They'll be in my top 5.
Okay. Who did the Bills make look like shit?
They did,
But
that's when they were
their guys were healthy.
I understand that, but at the same time, the one got hurt in the fourth quarter, and the Bills still put up 40 on the Dolphins. So it's not
Well,
like they're
Dolphins defense is
incapable.
No, their
of
offense
competing.
is intact. Bills' offense is intact. Bills' offense is
Yeah, it's
healthy.
intact. And it's
But
always
That was
been
your whole
inconsistent.
argument,
healthy.
No,
Gator, was that this last night was supposed to be their go-off day. But let's be
Yeah.
honest, the Giants played better yesterday or the other day than they have the entire
The
season
entire
with Daniel
season.
Jones.
I agree with that. I agree with that. What I mean by like off on all cylinders is get back to how they were like in that
30,
Dolphin
40
game.
points. Yeah, they
Yeah.
should be. And that's why I'm very hard on Josh Allen, and
But
I'm
and
not
see,
going to
no,
give
and
him a pass.
and this is why I give you that, Vern, for being hard on Josh Allen. Why
Hurts
is
with a
because
TZ.
I never. It's not that I didn't buy into Josh Allen. I love Josh Allen. I absolutely do. It's just the fact that he has to play more complementary football than we actually think he does. We think he's just, and I've called him this before. I've been guilty of this. Clark Kent, Superman. I've never seen anything like Josh Allen. Like I truly
He is
believe
phenomenal.
in
My
my
God,
heart
keep
that
talking, guys.
you're great. I never believed in my heart. I'm like, this dude is Clark Kent. He might as well be named Superman. Like, what the heck can he not do? But as his career is progressing, I'm learning more and more and more that these sort of like mistakes or inconsistency. I'm saying where Josh Allen is inconsistent, his healthy defense makes up for. That's basically what I'm getting at. And when they're not there, I get really concerned about this Bills team. I just do. And so now, no
And that goes
pass.
back to the playoffs last year. Josh Allen didn't play very well against the Bengals, and the defense could not bail him out.
Well, what about, I mean, yes, but what about the year before when Josh Allen had 2 minutes left to
That's
score
true,
game-winning
too.
touchdowns, and he did it against Patrick
That's
Mahomes,
true.
and his defense let up a score with 40 seconds left.
That's true.
He would have
Hey,
been
No,
he
it's
would have
not.
been
It
in
was
the Super Bowl.
16
Hey,
seconds. 16
Whatever.
seconds.
Hey,
That's a lot different than 40.
Just real talk though. Eli Manning is probably going to get to the Hall of Fame because of 2 playoff runs. I'm a Giants guy. Outside of those 2 playoff runs, this man was. I mean, Eli was
Average.
pedestrian to say the least. So I'm not like I can't overreact. Eli Manning went through 4 games. Both those seasons he's won a Super Bowl. That was a 4-game because he didn't have a bye. That was 4 games where he played elite football, and that was probably the best football he's played in his career. Outside of those 8 games and those 2 Super Bowl runs, this dude has been pedestrian to say the least. So I can't get as awesome as that performance was against the Chiefs in the playoffs that year. I can't put all my chips in on that memory when I keep seeing more of the errors, the woes, the mistakes that normally his defense would make up for, and they would still win games in spite of a Josh Allen bad game or situation. And so I get concerned about my AFC pick. I'm gonna stick with him. I'm just saying I get concerned. I'm hopeful at this point. There's no pass. These guys got to get
I'm
it
rooting for
together
them.
for me.
That is like I took the Bengals to win the AFC. I'm obviously going to be wrong about that this year, but if I had to root for a team in the AFC, I love the Bills. Like I like everything about the Bills. I like the
Same. Me
players they
too. Me
have.
too. Me too.
So like
Me
that's
too.
I would really like to see Josh Allen finally get over that hump and finally beat Kansas City and get that monkey off his back. But
Same.
it's just like they can't catch a break. I feel like, but I'll give Verts the last the last word on this. Let me. I guess
Yep.
how do the Bills get to a Super Bowl this year, and can they?
Absolutely, they can. I don't even really think it's a question. They have the capability to put up similar offensive numbers to anyone in the league. Their defense should still be okay at least. You don't need to be fantastic if you put up 40 yards or 40 points a game, 30 points a game. But it's going to come down to Josh Allen not turning the ball over. I mean, he needs to be smarter. He needs to be better. I think they need to go back to allowing him to use his legs. That's when he's the most dangerous. But ultimately, it's just turnovers. If you can limit those, then they should be fine. Punt the ball more, and just limit turnovers.
Did the game? So
I
he
like.
didn't really turn the ball over last night. So I want did that concern you though? Like that the offense was very stagnant and he wasn't turning the ball over. I mean they won the game, so we don't have to say like thankfully it didn't turn out like the Eagles or the Giants. The Eagles or the Niners. Something was in the water this weekend. But like even though Josh Allen didn't turn the ball over on Sunday night, was the offensive performance still concerning?
Wait. They won. They won what game?
The Bills won the Giant game.
Oh, the Giants definitely did just come up short. No, you're right.
Well, it's like because they like your main
No,
concern
yeah,
is
it's
Josh
just
Allen turning the football over. He
As far
didn't.
as winning a championship, correct.
Okay.
I mean, no, I think on Sunday, I think Sunday was actually one of the best case scenarios for the Bills. They were able to get away with a win, but also they
Wake
were
up
able
call.
to yeah, exactly. They were able to get a big wake up call
I'm
while
tired of
getting a
saying
win.
that. I'm tired of saying that.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you, but at the same time, I mean, there are flashes of greatness with this team every
Yeah.
other game. So I mean,
Yeah.
granted, they're gonna piss me off just as much as I'm gonna root for them. But like ultimately, and I know they didn't turn it over on Sunday, but I think they may have a really deep shot if he can just limit what he's doing. He's trying to do too many Patrick Mahomes type throws
They
where
gotta
he's
run
just
the ball more too. They're finally getting the run game going.
you'd
This is
be
the best run
surprised.
game. This is the best run game the Bills have had in a long time, and I feel like they're
They're
not
looking
running
at
enough.
picking up Leonard Fournette. They're looking at
You'd be surprised, to be honest. Look, if you look up their previous stats, they've actually been a top rushing team for the last couple of years. It's just
but it's
It
I don't
because
looks
it's
really
because
good this year though.
because
it does.
it's been on Josh Allen's legs. And I loved what you said about Josh Allen's legs and the Bills forcing him to use them more. They just are thinking of going away from it to preserve Josh
Yep.
Allen, the
To keep him
passer.
healthy.
And so it's just like it's unfortunate because that's when he's at his best. That's why I called him Clark Kent. I've never seen I have to bring the race card into this. Why? Because I've never seen a white dude look like this.
He's like
This
Cam
dude,
Newton.
this dude,
Yeah, he is. He's built like
better.
Cam Newton.
Like, bruh.
I mean, like
Even
running
with
style. Like he's got a
Yeah.
similar
I'm
running
talking
style.
about running style, dude. I love Cam Newton and what he gave to the game, but I just feel as though Josh Allen is just a tad bit girthier, stronger when he was running excessively. Like when he was running
He's
excessively,
hurdling
I would
dudes. It's
I would
crazy.
rather it's just like I would rather tackle Josh Allen. I mean Cam Newton than Josh Allen. Like it was just like not that it's far off and far in between. It's just the fact that I just never seen somebody white that cerebral physically and as far as a runner goes, and then provide what he provides in the pass game. I'm like, I mean, this is Clark Kent. Clark Kent has only ever been presented to us as a white male, so I had to give him that title. I'm like, this is Clark Kent. This is Superman. Like this dude is amazing. And then now they went away from him running. Now you expose him more to Josh Allen-like activity, turnovers or inconsistencies in the pass game. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, there's something about Josh Allen, the passer, that reigns inconsistency to me that the defense, when fully healthy, makes up for, and why I'm super concerned. But I'll leave it there.
Yeah, I think the Bills are a really good team. We can move on from that topic. I'm rooting for them, so
I'm sticking with my
I
pick.
mean,
I'm sticking with them. I'm sticking
I
with them.
want them to win the AFC. Like
I'm sticking with them.
the
I'm
one
sticking with
seed,
them.
man. They need the
I
one
would
seed.
love
They
to
got
see the
some
Bills
big games coming up. I know they're
I would
playing
love
the
to see the Bills
Bengals.
in
They're
the
playing the Bengals.
Super Bowl.
They play the Bengals, the Eagles, and the Chiefs still this year. So we need to get some wins up there. To
all
get
winnable
them
games.
home.
They're
They
a
need
great
home
football
field.
team, man.
They need home field for sure. Okay, so we are our UBD quick take segments, just 30-second quick takes on these three topics, and then we'll close out the show with our last two topics of the night. So we got. I'll let you start this one, King. Actually,
Me?
Yeah, just a
Guess
quick
is
little.
over.
Okay.
All right.
Thoughts on the Bucks superstar tandem debut against the Lakers? Wait, were you talking about in the preseason?
Preseason on Sunday against the Lakers. Yes.
Do you have stats for us? I did not watch it, so
You didn't pull up the graphic?
you didn't.
They looked phenomenal. I mean, they looked phenomenal. They looked phenomenal. I mean, the stats show that they were efficient. Damian Lillard, I want to say he was 9 for 9 from the free throw line. They looked efficient. They looked great. They looked like everything that we thought that they might look like, which was Giannis being too much for opposing defenses and Damian Lillard being able to reap the benefits of Giannis being too much for opposing defenses, something in which Dame Lillard has never, ever experienced in his entire career. He's the number one option in Portland in his entire career. And teams, every time there was a game plan, it was to stop him. When you got a guy like generational, like Giannis is a top 15 top 25 players to ever touch a basketball on your basketball team who is 6'11" and can get down the court in 2 dribbles on your basketball team, you just and you're Dame Lillard and get to reap the benefits of that. That's exactly what it looked like on Sunday. And so
they both played a total of 20. Giannis played only 15. Giannis was averaging a point a minute with Dame on the court, and Dame finished. So they combined for 30 points. They combined for 30 points, and were 7 for 7 combined from the free throw line. I mean, that's a great start to the preseason.
It was ridiculous.
Maybe like a 30-second take. What do you see with the Bucks? That Bucks duo this year.
That was it. I'll give it to Vern. I'll give it to Vern so we can move on.
I see me buying a lot of tickets in Milwaukee. I'm gonna
Are you out there?
I live in Chicago, north of Chicago.
Oh,
so I'm about
how far is that drive?
About an hour, if that.
I love that. I love Chicago, by the way. I played college basketball in Chicago, and I had an amazing time in Chicago.
Heyo,
Chicago.
if you come back, hit me up.
Chicago is lit. But yeah, go ahead.
No, I mean, there's not much to it, man. Yeah, Dame's going to get his. He came out the other day, said he wants to play till he's 38. I mean, I don't really see that happening, but regardless, he looks fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know if he's wrong.
Giannis, like you said, it's insane. I mean, if Shaq was on a 2023 type of a regime, that's what he would be basically. Like, Giannis is insanely strong. I will say he doesn't have too much skill though, to be honest. Like, but he
I
doesn't
never heard
need
anybody say that. Yeah, he don't have too much skill.
But he doesn't need
that's
it.
Why,
I mean,
that's what I was trying. I was trying to say that with you with Tyreek Hill and Calvin Johnson, but you wasn't understanding that. But it's okay.
I mean, if you want to get into that, I mean, that's a whole other thing. But like, I'll give you a comparison to compare to that. People talk about Steph Curry as the best 3-pointer ever, right? He's the best 3-point shooter, but he's an amazing handler. But no one talks about it because he's so good at 3-point shooting. And I feel like that's how we were discussing Tyreek and Calvin, as they're so fast that we discredit some other things.
I can't.
But anyway, that's not the topic.
I know.
Yeah, go
ahead.
I'll move on to the next quick take.
Okay.
Wemby is going off in the preseason. Wembanyama. What is Wemby's ceiling this season? I know King had a crazy take on this. He said his floor.
That's career. That was career.
Yeah, I know. You said his floor was top 15 of all time. Like King really believes that this dude could really be a top.
That's his floor.
That's his floor. It's a crazy take.
That's assuming he stays healthy his whole
career.
No.
Obviously, yeah. That takes out of the question.
That is the fact.
But what can we expect this season? What's his ceiling this season? I'll say top 15. I can't give him above 15.
In what? Scoring?
No, player in the league.
Top 15 player in the league?
This season. That's what Gator. That's Gator's take. That's Gator's take.
It's looking like that. It's looking like that. This dude is.
So give us some context, Vern. What's his ceiling this season?
I mean,
if you're talking total, like what he's going to be at the end of the year, his ceiling is probably somewhere in the 60 to 85 range. Rookie of the year, if he wins it.
If he gets
60 to 85 range,
he'll be higher than that.
You said 60 to 85 range, as in like top 60 to 85 players in the league. Wow.
And he might get a little higher than that.
No, he's got to be higher. You're thinking there's not a lot of players in the NBA, Verts.
I guess that's true. Okay, so he'll probably be top 50. He'll probably be around.
If he wins Rookie of the Year, he'll probably be top 40. If he wins,
but you got to remember, there's if you try to even just name superstars, you're already going to come up with 15 to 20.
Yeah, we're at
exactly.
Like 20,
so that's not even including anything. And then the main thing I'm concerned about is anybody that I've ever seen play basketball, and I've watched a lot of basketball. If they're over 7 foot, they always get a foot injury or some sort of injury, and that's what I'm most concerned about. I think that
let's take injuries out of it. Let's say he plays the full season.
No, I'm not. The reason why. Look, there was once a Shaq.
Quick take. I want to hear Bruce's take on this real quick. Quick take.
Go ahead.
What do you think? Let's take injuries out of the equation. You're saying
if he stays
top 50,
40 to 50.
Yeah. 40 to 50. Okay. But what about you, King?
Top 20, top 15 this year.
Yeah, I'm thinking top 15. Yeah.
Like he's
with the hype.
My whole take on him was the part that everybody is overlooking. Everybody is falling in love with his offensive abilities, with his offensive like what he can do offensively. My whole thing on this kid was how he could alter shots in the paint, his ability to block shots, his ability with his length to come up with steals and deflections, his rebounding ability, his defense, all of the other ways in which he's going to affect this game.
Well, I hear you.
Like,
Hey, I hear you, King. But a wise man named
keep-
King once told me that if they play defense, they don't have as much energy to play offense.
No, and that's why I sort of temper my expectations for him offensively. That's why I'm like, I keep telling people, I'm like, he's showing great skill sets offensively, but it's sort of against dudes that I'm not really buying it. I'm more so looking at what Greg Pop is going to teach him on presence defensively, how to be big, how to block shots, how to alter shots, how to rebound, how to run the floor, how
Quick
to
take,
make great
King. Wrap
passes.
it up.
Yeah, I'm just saying how to make great passes. So out of double teams or out of the post, how to see the floor. So it's just how he's going to affect the game in its entirety. And then when you, on top of that, when you put 14 points per outing on top of that's top
what
15
scares
in
me
my
is
opinion.
his shooting ability. If he can knock down threes like that, if he's shooting 40%,
No, but he
from three,
folded. He folded on the 3-point line
Okay.
last preseason game. That's what I'm trying to say. It's inconsistent.
That's
Okay,
true.
last
Let's
quick
remember he
take.
got bought.
Last quick take, and then we'll do our predictions for the Thursday night game, and then close out the show. UBD quick takes is, I'm not paying attention to Ben Simmons' preseason success, so I'll leave this floor up to you.
I'm just going. I mean, this is easy. I mean, I said what I thought Ben
Is
Simmons
Ben Simmons
was.
gonna get back?
What? No, he's just looking phenomenal in the preseason, and I said that he was going to be back to being the Ben Simmons that, and just not like this all-world generational guy. It's just when he was healthy and when he was playing, he was one of the best perimeter defenders in the National Basketball Association, and he was a great contributor in terms of facilitating, and that's what. And it's coming back. It's like I don't understand like why everybody was so off on Ben Simmons in terms of being a really good piece. He's a really good NBA player. Like it's just people are just mad that he was the number one pick and that he's not going to be one of the best players to ever do this. I guess that's what people's frustration is, Brian.
Burtz with a TZ.
Burtz.
I don't know where you got an N. Where did you
It's
get
all
this
it's
N
all
on?
good. Have I been impressed with Ben Simmons preseason?
Thank you, Brian.
Absolutely not. Ever since he decided he didn't want to take the free dunk, we have seen nothing but social media posts
Yo,
about
that
his
was crazy. He really did
yeah,
it.
but we've seen ever since that happened, we
That
have
really
seen
was
nothing
the
but
downfall of Ben Simmons, honestly.
yeah, it was, and we haven't seen anything but consistently him posting on social media in the preseason of how good he's shooting and how good he's doing this and that, but it never translates, and he barely plays. He needs to prove it. I'm tired of seeing videos come out in a game and do it.
I like it. I like the take. We're looking
I
forward to
hear
the
that.
NBA season. We'll see if Ben Simmons can get back into that form. NBA season is officially starting next Tuesday. We will have a lot more NBA topics going further. It was kind of the off season, so we've been focusing on football, but it'll be more 50-50 as the NBA season rolls around. And we got our last one of our last two topics of the night. Just a quick preview or just prediction who you think wins the Jaguars at Saints game. So it is in New Orleans. So normally it would be a kind of quick pick from me. I'm still gonna take the Jags. I'll start this one. I'm still gonna take the Jags. I think the Jaguars are the actual main threat in the AFC. I think everybody's sleeping on the Jags. Everybody's worried about the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Dolphins and how that's gonna play out seeding wise. But I think the Jaguars are a sneaky pick. They already beat the Bills. They had a really close game with the Chiefs a few weeks ago. Very low scoring, grinded out game that the Chiefs did wind up winning. But this team is getting a little bit better and a little bit better week by week by week. And that is the Jags recipe. If they can get their offense going to the potential where we believe it's going to be at, they could win the AFC. I knew that sounds they could win the AFC. So in a Thursday night matchup, because of how high I am on them, I have to take the Jaguars in this one.
In prime time, and I'll be quick. Prime time one, Trevor Lawrence is on a offensive plan or not playing. It's really on the fence. So he had to suffer the knee injury in Sunday's win. So is don't know if he's playing or not.
I still
But
think they
gonna
can
go
win
into
this game without Trevor Lawrence.
I disagree, but I'm going to go under the assumption that he does play. If he doesn't play, I got the Saints, and if he does play, I'm also taking the Saints in this one.
Wow.
Although he's my fantasy football quarterback. Reason why is just because, like Bert said, they have this offense for whatever reason haven't even really scratched the surface on playing optimal yet.
I think both
so
offenses haven't. This is going to be an interesting game. Both offenses really haven't.
But I'm just saying the factor for me is to continue to elaborate on the offense is that they haven't scratched the surface yet on what this offense could potentially be. And that's concerning for me, especially against a defense like the Saints, who has been formidable all year long. It's just Derek Carr who hasn't really got
Stroud, man. I can't.
I'm just
That's my
but
NFC South team too.
But it wasn't in embarrassing fashion. For the most part they held CJ Stroud. For the most part they held CJ Stroud in that offense in check. And all I'm saying is that when it comes like Trevor Lawrence for whatever been struggling, finding connection with Calvin, really finding connection with his offensive weapons. And all I'm saying is this is a stout run defense already. And then you got Honey Badger in the back. You got Marcus Lattimore at DB. It's just weird. Like, I just don't like what I've been seeing from the Jaguars offensively right now. Their defense has been showing up with like Cisco, their DB Cisco coming up with great picks. Like their defense has been more formidable than is kind of like a pleasant surprise for their defense. And so this is going to be interesting to see what Alvin Kamara and the crew could do against this defense. Whatever schemes they could come up to try to, outcast this defense. But defensively for these Saints, I don't fear Trevor Lawrence as what I've seen so far. So I'm gonna go ahead and go out on a limb, and I'm gonna take the on prime time. I'm gonna go ahead and take New Orleans.
Birch, who you got? Birch, you there?
Oh, I was muted. I am
You're
also
good.
going with New Orleans.
Wow.
So New Orleans has not, other than this game to Tampa Bay this year, hasn't given up over 21 points since week 7 last year versus Arizona.
Thank you for some
So
stats.
that is almost an entire full season of games, and they've given up 21 points one time. On top of that, they are 3-1 if Derek Carr manages to throw over 150 yards, which is not very difficult.
Yeah.
So if he can just manage to throw the ball like any normal quarterback should, then it should be a pretty simple win.
Well, he's on Justin Fields like this year so far. Wow.
Yeah, I do think that Jacksonville has a much better offense, but they aren't playing to the point that I think they should be. Ridley is supposed to be that number one receiver. He doesn't look like it. He looks like he's the second receiver on his team to Christian Kirk. And to be honest, Trevor Lawrence he's looked decent enough to win games, maybe even above average, but I don't think he has scratched his surface either. And I definitely think there's room to grow, but the Saints defense has looked dominant.
Okay, so it's 2-1 to me. I think my last point on this. I'm not so. I actually like the Jaguars defense as well. I think they're a little underrated. So I think Derek Carr might not throw for the 150 that we're talking about. And if that's the case, and based on Vertz's stats, that's an L for the Saints. All right, last topic, and then we will head out. Our most viewed short was our NFL rankings. I wanted to do the AFC and NFC separate, but due to time restraints, we'll just do top 5 teams in the whole NFL. Verts, you could go first. Your top 5 teams in the NFL. If you don't have that list yet, let me know. I'll skip you because I want to get the top 5 first.
Because you changed it. I had it separated. So
so just do it. I'll just do it real quick. King will throw it out because for clips I don't like to have like any pauses because. So I'm just gonna read mine out real quick.
Easier to edit.
No, not only easier to edit, but so I can fit everybody's takes, so I can get all 3 lists in one video. So and then we'll talk about it. I still got the Niners at 1. I got the Chiefs at 2. I got the Lions at 3. They were outside of my top 5. They are now in the top 5. I got the Dolphins at 4 and the Eagles at 5. That's my so Niners, Chiefs, Lions, Dolphins, Eagles is my new top 5. Let me put this.
Okay.
One sec, King. One sec. I gotta say it again real quick. I got the Niners at 1. I didn't have the graphic up. I got the Niners at 1. I got the Chiefs at 2. Lions squeeze in at number 3. I got the Eagles at 5, and the Dolphins move up to 4. Okay, we're good to go, King. You can go now. You could put your cam on for this.
Okay.
Just for this, and then you could get out of here.
No. I was
Just for the clip.
trying for whatever. I was trying to look at the teams at the same time. But anyway, it's okay. At 1, but at 1, I have the Kansas City Chiefs at 1. They moved to 1. At 2, I have the 49ers. At 3, I have the Eagles. At 4, I have the Ravens. At 5, at 4, I have the Cleveland Browns. At 5, I have the Ravens.
Wait, say that again. Say that list again. You lost.
You
me.
said 6.
You kept saying numbers. You said 6 teams. Chiefs
Okay.
at 1. Yeah, go ahead. Say it again.
Chiefs. I have the Niners at 2.
Okay.
At 3, I have the Eagles. At 4, I have the Cleveland Browns. At 5, I have the Baltimore Ravens.
Wow. You left out the Dolphins?
The Niners.
Yeah.
No, the Niners he has 2. He let the Dolphins and the Lions out. You are not liking what you're seeing from the Lions to put them in the top 5? You think the Ravens are better than the Lions?
First of all, I've raved about the Lions. You know that. So you
How
understand how much I love the
top
Lions.
5 though?
And
this crazy offense for the Dolphins, they're not in your top 5?
What Lamar is doing, first of all, with Cleveland is they're deep. Like people are not understanding what's going on. People are not understanding what's going on with Cleveland right now. People are not understanding what's going on with Cleveland. Cleveland is legit. Period.
They've also lost 2 bad games.
But again, the only bad loss they have, and we know Mike Tomlin is not an easy win. That's one loss that they had, and I forget their other loss.
The Ravens, and so they didn't have Deshaun Watson.
Exactly. So it's just like when fully healthy, this team, I'm really loving what I'm seeing from this defense. And Jim Schwartz, the defensive coordinator, is running it. I'm really loving what I'm seeing from this defense. And with Deshaun Watson back out, sky's the limit. And then with the Ravens, like with Lamar Jackson is doing with less right now, and that's been the storyline for a while. But he's grown as a player, and just in terms of his ability to carry with less. You got guys on the offensive line.
That steal loss to me is
guys on the offensive line who are out. Guys in the defensive end who are out. These all guys who are not done for the season, who are all expected to come back. Just to see Lamar Jackson keep these guys, keep this team above float the way that he is with less is very impressive. And so
you're
they got
saying right now, I need you to say this with your chest: the Ravens are better than the Dolphins. The Baltimore Ravens are better than the Miami Dolphins.
Right now, if I had to put my bread on it, on a playoff matchup between the Ravens and the Dolphins, I'm taking the Ravens. Yes,
you're crazy. Okay,
absolutely.
Bruce. Let's get a better list on the board. Give me a
wow.
more common sense.
Okay,
I got you with the GOAT list. Don't worry. Kansas City at 1. Detroit at 2.
Oh no!
Oh, that's
Detroit at 2.
Go ahead.
Okay,
that ain't hype at all.
Finish it out.
Niners at 3, Eagles at 4, and the Bills at 5.
Okay, now we could talk about it. Why are the Lions better than the Eagles and the Niners? Please tell me this right now.
They simply put up more points, and the Eagles just lost to the Jets. So if they're gonna lose to Zach Wilson, they're gonna lose to everybody else. So as much as I love it,
I agree with where
as
you
much
have the
as I
Eagles.
did-
I agree with you have the Eagles. I think they're frauds this year. I think that once they have to play Dallas. They have to play Dallas. I'm not even joking. In 2 weeks after this Miami game, they play Miami Sunday, and after the Miami game, they have one easy matchup, and then after that easy matchup, they play Dallas in order: Dallas, Buffalo, Kansas City, Niners, Dallas again. 5 straight weeks in a row.
And
They
I don't
could
even
lose
think-
all
I
5
don't
of those
even
games.
think I don't even think they're fakes. They have a great run game, but to be honest, I don't think Jalen Hurts is everything that everyone says he is.
We
He's
actually
a
had.
great leader.
You would have loved to be on the show last Friday. We compared Brock Purdy and Jalen Hurts, like really, like actually.
No,
You
it's just the way that we did it. The way that we did it, you would have definitely enjoyed it for sure.
Yeah. So.
But no, we agree on that, Jay.
I like the list otherwise. I think Miami. I like the list. I don't know if I would keep Buffalo in the top 5 just because of how they looked, but I'm trying to
Well,
think.
it's either Buffalo or Miami, and
Yeah.
Buffalo beat Miami, so I'm
That's
taking
fair.
Buffalo.
That's fair. That's fair.
I don't like Detroit at 2 as the second best team in the
That's high.
entire
That's high
National
because they haven't
They
been
beat
tested
Kansas
yet.
City.
I
beat
know
Kansas City.
they haven't been tested yet. I want to see them get
They
tested.
beat Kansas City. That's
It
a
was week
test.
1.
The
I don't care.
first game of the season,
So
prime
okay,
time.
so
Probably
if you
should
play
have
the-
lost
and,
it.
and,
Okay,
and,
so hold on. So
and-
if you play the best team in week 1, it just doesn't count if you beat them.
No.
all I'm
They
saying-
put them on the
all I'm
map.
saying is
It
there
got
were-
them the
there
right
were
to
a
be in
lot
this
of-
top 5. So they
there
got them the
were a
right.
lot-
I just think 2 is
there were-
crazy.
I'll just say that there were a lot of unforced turnovers and errors. Unforced.
Wait, no,
And so-
I gotta say something to Verts actually. Based on your logic, because Buffalo beat Miami, the Lions put them up there. Stop
Well,
being
no, 'cause
fake.
that-
Put the Lions over
No,
the Chiefs.
because the difference is Buffalo has a better quarterback than the Dolphins, and Kansas City has a better quarterback than the Lions. Mahomes is the best quarterback of all time, so Mahomes gets the edge.
Okay, I tried. Yeah, that's the show though. You wanted to say something, King, real quick about the list? Go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off. What were you saying?
No.
Real quick.
You're just basically saying there was a lot of to have Detroit at 2 because they beat the Chiefs. There were a lot of unforced turnovers by the Chiefs in that game. Nothing that Detroit necessarily did, but it's okay. You know, that's that. Like, I'm not mad at it. I mean, Detroit is absolutely phenomenal. I chose them to win their division. Not only did I choose that, I chose them even though they were at the bottom of the league defensively in terms of production rankings goals. I was the one that was on record saying, I know they're at the bottom production-wise, but my eyes are not failing me. This team defensively looks like they're willing to run through, to put their nose in every tackle, in every play, and it's showing this year with their numbers defensively. So I love it. I love it. I love Lions at 2. I don't love it. Excuse me. I'm not mad at it. I'll say that. And so that's it. And another beautiful show. Look, there are a lot of things that to come. Let me get this right. There are a lot of things to come on the Under Big Dog Show. I hate to call this podcast wide because you will see when the show continues to grow in live production, when the show continues to grow in terms of when our website comes out and being able to make predictions on the websites and being able to cash in real money for winning prediction contests from the website and everything that this show is going to encompass, you will start to see this thing formalized as a sports show versus a sports podcast. And this thing is going to get super exciting. The community is going to be amazing. So I just thank everybody that's here right now, who's a part of it right now, and is going to get to see this thing become what it's going to become. And so we just thank everybody for tuning into another beautiful, jam-packed Under Big Dog Sports Show. Bert, God bless you, dude. Your takes were amazing today. Thank you for coming through. Continue to come through. We have all of the sports times, the topic times within the
Yeah, I
topics
explained
as
that to
well.
Verts. I said you don't have to stay the whole show. Just stay for the topics you
And
like.
so,
Look at what
so
Batman did.
if
He was
you're
in and out today. Joined for a few and then
so
was
if
out.
you're watching
Yeah.
because you know a certain time slots is what you want to be a
Yeah.
part of, you populate in it during that time slot and you go about your day. It's a free, it's an open community. It's for the sports community. So we first of all, let's just keep in mind, we love like stay for the whole show, please. Like when this thing starts to get overpopulated, where there are like, because when it gets overpopulated, we'll only have 8 people per segment, and then that's when it gets tricky. But until that point comes, please stay the whole show. The content is amazing, Burks. Like we need your analytical context, and so I mean, this is what we're here for. People that know sports, love sports, and doesn't get recognized because all we do is watch what we watch on TV every day, and we want to so badly give our take and be a part of it, yet we don't have a platform. This is what it's for. So we definitely want you here for the whole show. Just putting that out there. Just giving you the option, also to understand both sides of the spectrum
Yeah, like people
in
got
case you
busy
have a
lives.
busy day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what that's about. God bless
Absolutely. Well, I
everybody out
appreciate you
there.
guys having me.
Yep.
Facts.
Gad, close us out, King. Is that anything
Nah,
else you want to say?
that's it.
Yeah,
Thank everybody
show
else
on
there.
Friday will be what the normal Friday show. NFL week 7. We're week 7 right now, right? Week 7 picks and
Week 7 predictions,
We'll talk about the
absolutely,
Texans.
and much
Give
more.
CJ Stroud and the Texans some love. Are they a playoff team or not? Stuff like that. So we will see you guys Friday 7:30 same time. We out.